Chapter 178. Xing Hui's merciless words made Lai Wuyang feel an indescribable sense of humiliation. She, Lai Wuyang, was the daughter of the Jin Wu religion's Dharma king Lai Ji. She was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. Not to mention outside the Jin Wu religion, even inside the Jin Wu religion, she was surrounded by countless men and women who fawned over her. Wherever she went, she was the center of the world. Countless people fawned over her. Moreover, this phenomenon only increased after she cultivated divine-level Gang Qi and became the Jin Wu religion's holy maiden. She, who was so favored by the heavens, was only a tool to obtain the Great Sun Golden Crow technique in the eyes of Xing Hui. Moreover, besides this function, she seemed to have no other use. Her identity, her talent, her beauty, and her achievements were not worth mentioning in front of Xing Hui. This kind of feeling where her self-esteem was almost trampled made her almost mad with hatred for Xing Hui. However, she was a rather rational person. She understood that if she spoke arrogantly in the situation before her, she would only be asking for humiliation. Therefore, she had no choice but to forcefully suppress the anger in her heart and said in a low voice, "Fine. I can give you the 4th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. I only hope that you will have the life to cultivate it when the time comes. Whether I can cultivate the 4th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique is my business. You just have to give me the technique." Fine. However, I haven't started cultivating the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. Therefore, I'm afraid you won't be able to verify the authenticity of the technique. In any case, I've already cultivated the Great Sun Golden Crow technique to perfection. I can still determine whether the 4th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique you passed to me is real or fake. Moreover, my request for the Great Sun Golden Crow technique is very sudden for you. If you can write a 4th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique that can deceive me in such a short time, then I'll admit defeat. Lai Wuyang glanced at Xing Hui with resentment. However, in order to preserve her life, she still slowly explained the 4th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. She was very clear in her heart that no magic art was more important than her own life. Only by keeping her life would she have a future to speak of. If she lost her life, everything she had now would be gone. When Xing Hui heard Lai Wuyang mention the 4th stage of the Great Sun Golden Crow art, he silently deduced and quickly determined the authenticity of the art. However, in order to ensure that nothing went wrong, he still split a portion of his consciousness and entered the Primal Chaos Divine Palace. Then, he went through the Primal Chaos Divine Palace to the Sky Dome Realm. He found the place where the Sky Dome Realm specialized in exchanging techniques and applied for the 4th layer of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. Only when he discovered that the artifact spirit that specialized in recording spell incantations didn't show any abnormalities did he feel relieved. Due to the fact that the Great Sun Golden Crow technique already existed, he wouldn't receive any rewards if he turned in the first 4 stages of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. However, if there was a problem with the first 4 stages of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, he would fail to turn it in. Now that he had successfully turned it in, it could at least prove the authenticity of the 4th stage of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique that Lai Wuyang had given him. "I have the incantation, as well as your armor, divine weapon and flying sword." Xing Hui's gaze swept across Lai Wuyang's graceful figure as he said calmly, "She had already handed over the most important things. Even though she had also paid a great price to obtain her armor, divine weapon and flying sword, and every single one of them were of the 5th level, in front of her life, she still handed over the armor and divine weapon without any hesitation. This is an ocean. If I give you my flying sword, I may not be able to leave this place alive. It's simple." Xing Hui took out a 4th level flying sword that he had obtained from Lingyu. "You can use this flying sword." Lai Wuyang's charming eyes were filled with coldness, but she still quickly received the flying sword. She directly injected a streak of sword intent into the flying sword. After she controlled the flying sword, she landed on the flying sword. At the same time, she controlled the flying sword in her hand and said, "Here, I hope you will keep your word." "Of course, Lai Wuyang. I promised you that if you give me the 4th layer of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, and leave behind your divine weapon and armor, I will let you go. Now you can go, Xing Hui said. Okay. Lai Wuyang didn't care about her injuries. She turned around and left without hesitation. At this moment, Xing Hui seemed to have thought of something. He suddenly shouted, "Wait a moment." Lai Wuyang's delicate body shook slightly. At this moment, she had an impulse to flee with her fastest speed. However, her reason told her that even if she fled with her fastest speed, it would still be difficult for her to escape from Xing Hui's evil clutches. In the end, she still turned around and said hatefully, "Cho Xing Hui, don't tell me you want to go back on your word? Of course not. I am still waiting for you to give me the 5th layer of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. How can I bear to kill you so easily? However, there is something you don't know. I went to the inland not long ago and killed a Green Darkness Realm Elder of your Jin Wu religion. Currently, your father is rushing in this direction with his fastest speed. If you don't want the news of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique to be leaked, then it's best to let him leave." When Lai Wuyang heard this, she immediately sneered and said, "What are you afraid?" "Afraid?" Xing Hui chuckled. Then, he fixed his gaze on Lai Wuyang and said slowly, "Do you believe that if it is only your father who comes without the protection of the great elder of the Jin Wu religion, I can make it impossible for him to return?" Although Xing Hui's tone was calm, this confident tone made Lai Wuyang's heart skip a beat. Don't forget that overseas cultivators have their own methods to deal with inland cultivators. Sea beast. Lai Wuyang suddenly thought of something. Her face couldn't help but sink. "Okay, you can go. You are welcome to find me for revenge at any time. However, remember, if you really want to take revenge, you have to bring the 5th and 6th layer of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. This can at least save your life. If you don't have the 5th or 6th layer of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, don't blame me for not showing mercy. When have you ever shown mercy?" Lai Wuyang's pretty face was cold. She clenched her teeth and said, "Don't worry. It will not happen more than 3 times. The next time I come to your dragon-slaying island, it will be the time of your death. No, I won't kill you. Killing you is too easy. I will spare your life. I will make you like the most lowly servant. You will follow me and do all the lowly things. I will return the humiliation you have inflicted on me 10 times, 100 times. That will depend on whether you have the ability to do so. You will see." After Lai Wuyang finished speaking, she didn't waste any more words. She rode the rank 4 flying sword that Xing Hui gave her, and quickly disappeared into the horizon. She didn't even care about the 3 Unity of Spirit Realm guards that came with her. Xing Hui didn't chase after her. Before he had any method to obtain the 4th level of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, he could still directly buy it from the sky. He just had to spend some Taoist rhymes. However, the 5th and 6th levels of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique could only be obtained from the Jin Wu religion. Moreover, the 5th, 6th and 4th levels were different. These 2 levels were usually only in the hands of a few core members of the Jin Wu religion. Those people were either overseeing a region with monstrous power, or were at the peak of the 6th level of immortality. The difficulty of obtaining them was no less than directly declaring war on the Jin Wu religion. Although Xing Hui's cultivation was not bad, he was still inferior to the colossus that was the Jin Wu religion that even saints didn't dare to underestimate. Being able to obtain the 5th and 6th levels of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique safely through Lai Wuyang's hands was indeed the best outcome. Xiao. After waiting for Lai Wuyang to leave, Xing Hui flew on his sword and flew towards the sea where the battlefield was originally located. However, before Xing Hui arrived in the sky above the sea, Dan Tating, Yun Tao, and Madame Zhu were already heading towards this direction. When they saw Xing Hui, the 3 of them simultaneously revealed a guilty expression. "Island Master, we were careless for a moment and let those 3 experts of the Jin Wu religion escape." Xing Hui glanced at the 3 of them. Among the 3 of them, Tan Tai Ting had just broken through to the realm of unity of spirit and qi. Yun Tao had a level 6 divine weapon in his hands, and his attacks could be said to be swift and fierce. However, it was a pity that he only had a special bloodline and was not good at killing. Even with the help of a level 6 divine weapon, He could only raise his attack power to the level of an expert in the later stage of unity of spirit and qi. As for Madame Zhuyu, her cultivation wasn't weak, and she also had a unique treasure like the soul-absorbing bell. However, it was obviously not enough to kill any of the 3 unity of spirit realm experts of the Jin Wu religion by herself. The experts of Dragon-Slaying Island were enough to establish a foothold in the sea, but compared to the Jin Wu religion, Hunyuan Heaven sect, and other great forces, they were clearly not on the same level. Peak masters and saintesses of the Hunyuan Heaven sect and Jin Wu religion, which one of them didn't have a few unity of spirit realm experts by their side? Alright, if you didn't catch them, then so be it. Quickly return. Xing Hui paused for a moment. After the Hunyuan Heaven sect, Create Evolve Mysterious sect, Wuji Sword sect, Jin Wu religion, Green Lotus Sword sect, and other great forces have swept the sea, there will definitely be a large number of empty forces in the sea. This is the best opportunity for Dragon-Slaying Island to develop. Therefore, we have to expand the influence of Dragon-Slaying Island as soon as possible and recruit enough experts. Just like today, if we can have more than 10 unity of spirit realm experts, whether it's the Jin Wu religion or the Hunyuan Heaven sect, none of them will be able to escape. Expand outward. Dan Tating was slightly taken aback. He glanced at Madame Zhuyu and Yin Tao, who were beside him. Although their cultivation wasn't weak, if they wanted to expand Dragon-Slaying Island's influence by a large margin, it would be beyond their abilities. For a moment he could only tactfully say, Dragon-Slaying Island is currently recuperating. If we rashly expand by a large margin, I'm afraid the situation will become unstable. I know what you want to say. Don't worry, there will soon be a cultivator whose battle strength isn't weaker than the Green Netherworld realm. I'll let her lead you to battle everywhere. Xing Hui said indifferently. Even the weakest Green Netherworld realm expert is not weaker than the top 100 on the Divine Dragon list. I believe that with her around, even if Dragon-Slaying Island doesn't develop to become famous overseas, we can still expand our influence by a few times, or even a dozen times. Chapter 179. Blue Netherworld Realm. Our Dragon-Slaying Island actually has a Blue Netherworld Realm expert guarding it? Dan Tating was pleasantly surprised. Madame Zhuyu and Yin Tao had personally witnessed the battle between Xing Hui and Ling Yu, so they carefully recalled Ling Yu's true ability. Blue Netherworld Realm. That was already a conservative estimate. Island Lord, if our Dragon-Slaying Island really has a Blue Netherworld Realm expert guarding it, I am confident that we can develop our Dragon-Slaying Island into one of the strongest islands in the sea. Dan Tating couldn't wait to say, Very good, I will watch your performance. I have recently obtained some divine weapons. If you perform well, I will bestow some divine weapons to you. Dan Tating couldn't help but think of the rank 6 divine weapon in Yin Tao's hands. Yin Tao's awakened bloodline wasn't proficient in life and death battles. If he really had to fight with Yin Tao, he was confident that he could win. If he also had a rank 6 divine weapon like Yin Tao, he didn't dare to say that he could win against an expert at the late stage of unity of spirit and Qi realm. But at least he had the courage to go up and fight. Go! The Dragon-Slaying Island should calm down for a short period of time. However, I'm afraid that it won't be long before an even more terrifying storm arrives. Xing Hui said calmly. Whether it was Peak Master Yuan or Lai Wuyang, they wouldn't dare to mobilize a large force to deal with him. After all, they had leaked their sect's divine scripture. If this matter was known by the sect, they wouldn't be able to avoid punishment. Under such circumstances, even if they wanted to deal with him, they would do it secretly. And this time, whether it was Sky Origin or Lai Wuyang, they understood his true strength. At least before they had absolute confidence, they wouldn't come rashly. Yes, Dan Tating, Yin Tao, and Madame Zhuyu respectfully replied. Immediately, the group quickly returned and landed in Dragon-Slaying City. In Dragon-Slaying City, Dan Taiying, Dan Taiyu, and the others who knew that the Dragon-Slaying Island was in danger were looking forward to it. When they saw Xing Hui and the others return safely, they couldn't help but let out enthusiastic cheers. Island Lord! Alright, let them leave. The danger of our dragon-slaying island has been temporarily resolved. Removed? Dan Taiying's face was filled with pleasant surprise. And then he quickly said, "That's right, with the island master taking action. How can there be any problem that can't be solved? We were too paranoid." Xing Hui didn't explain much. He just nodded at Dan Taiyu. "The main reason why I conquered Dragon-slaying Island back then was because I wanted to make use of the geographical advantage of Dragon-slaying Island to collect the Taoist items overseas. Now that I haven't collected the Taoist items, there's a lot of trouble." Xing Hui returned to his room and shook his head secretly. He had put the cart before the horse in the dragon-slaying island. Currently, he had yet to reach the realm of divine qi unification. Even if he had powerful battle prowess, his cultivation level was still there. It was very difficult for him to form an effective deterrent force. Once he reached the realm of divine qi unification, he would then openly use the power of Dragon-slaying Island to collect the items of Tao from overseas. It just so happened that he had obtained quite a number of level 4 and level 5 divine weapons. If he used them as a guide, he believed that he would be able to obtain quite a number of Tao carriers very quickly. Of course, the prerequisite was that Dragon-slaying Island had to establish a good reputation system. Qing Su had no idea what Lai Wuyang had said to the Lai Ji Protector King. But for the entire week that followed, the ocean remained peaceful. Clearly, if the Lai Ji Protector King really wanted to come, he would have arrived a long time ago. There was only one reason for this. He had already retreated under Lai Wuyang's persuasion. However, a week had passed. Even if Lai Ji really came again, it wouldn't be a big deal. The cooldown of the divine skill was already over. If Lai Ji really dared to come, Xing Hui was confident that he wouldn't be able to return if he didn't use the trump card that he had left behind to deal with the Immortal Realm level 6 experts. After a week of rushing, Ling Yu had also returned to Dragon-slaying Island. With her overseeing the island, the safety of Dragon-slaying Island had reached a new high. Xing Hui also had time to think about his own cultivation. "I've already obtained the 4th stage of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. I should push it to the 4th stage as soon as possible." The Spirit Refining Realm and Spirit Qi Unity Realm are two completely different worlds to any cultivator. Perhaps those big shots would understand the importance of a divine Great Earth Energy cultivator. But in the hearts of ordinary cultivators, even a spirit refining expert with unlimited potential would not be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with someone who had just entered the Spirit Qi Unity realm. In the room, Xing Hui was deep in thought. In the next moment, he appeared in the Primal Chaos Temple. When he arrived at the Primal Chaos Temple, he originally planned to head straight to the Sky Dome realm. However, after thinking about it, he still appeared in Nalan Fei's personal space. At this moment, Nalan Fei also left a portion of her consciousness in her personal space. Seeing Xing Hui, she was surprised. "Pak Hui, by the way, have you left Shaoyangxi City? I seem to have heard that the Jin Wu religion's sweeping range has expanded, and your dragon-slaying island is within that range. I already know about this matter. However, although the Jin Wu religion's sweeping range has expanded, it does not include our dragon-slaying island. You can rest assured about this." After finishing his words, Xing Hui went straight to the point. "Have you seen Sky Origin Peak Master recently? Not long ago, with the help of the Spirit Refining Pavilion, my consciousness level increased by 3 levels. Taking advantage of the strengthening of my consciousness, I spent most of my time refining my earth energy, hoping to reach large success as soon as possible. I did not specially visit Sky Origin Peak Master. You'd better stay away from him. Sky Origin Peak Master should already be suspicious of you a week ago. He went overseas." Sky Origin Peak Master went overseas. Nalan Fei's expression changed slightly. From her reaction, it was not difficult to tell that she had not heard the slightest bit of news about this matter. After a long while, her expression turned serious. "It seems that Sky Origin Peak Master is indeed suspicious of me. Unfortunately, as the Hunyuan Heaven sect and Jianing become closer and closer, the influence my identity as Tianxiong has on the higher-ups of the Hunyuan Heaven sect has decreased. Although they will not specifically target me, if I break the rules of the Hunyuan Heaven sect, I will inevitably be punished accordingly. Moreover, they will no longer turn a blind eye to my actions out of respect for Tianqiong without this barrier. Coupled with the fact that I have been abandoned by Sky Origin Peak Master, I will most likely be in a disadvantageous situation in the upcoming sect battles. If you really can't stay in the Hunyuan Heaven sect any longer, you might as well come overseas. Although Dragon Slaying Island cannot be considered a top force overseas, the number of forces that have the guts to target us can be counted on one hand. Although there will be more pressure in the Hunyuan Heaven sect, there are certain benefits. At the very least, if I have a conflict with the true disciples of the other 10 great sects, I won't have to worry about not having a backer. Nalan Fei smiled. All right, I'll take care of my own matters. It's his loss that the Void Origin Peak Master abandoned me. After the refinement in the Refining God Pavilion, there's a great chance for my Aura Chi to reach grand completion. Once my Aura Chi reaches grand completion, I'll just have to spend some time polishing my Aura Chi for a bit to reach grand completion. Once my Aura Chi reaches grand completion, I'll be able to accumulate Dao Vessel items and make another trip to the Refining God and Chi as one realm. Once I reach the God and Chi as one realm, I'll be able to establish my own mountain, or even Qing Su. I can even take your Dragon Slaying Island into my sphere of influence. By then, you won't have to worry about your Dragon Slaying Island being surrounded by the 10 sacred sections. Establishing my own mountain? That is indeed a good choice. Xing Hui nodded. The Peak Master stage of the Hunyuan Heaven sect was actually to accumulate their own forces to prepare for the position of Vice Sect Master, and even the position of Sect Master in the future. Naturally, they would need to recruit a large number of people. Once these people were recruited by the Peak Master, their status would immediately change. The reason why there were so many spirit refining cultivators overseas, but the number of Spirit Chi Unity Realm cultivators was less than 1,000th of them, was because those Spirit Chi Unity Realm cultivators had all been recruited. If Nalan Fei could really break through to the Spirit Chi Unity stage and become a Peak Master from today onwards, Dragon Slaying Island would no longer have to worry about being swept by the 10 great sections. I recently obtained a lot of good things. Among them are some cultivation resources that should be helpful for your cultivation. I will send someone to deliver them to you later. Oh, Nalan Fei glanced at Xing Hui, but did not take it to heart. Although she knew that Xing Hui was doing well overseas, in everyone's eyes, the overseas had always been poor. Even if the island master was doing well, he might not be able to obtain any valuable treasures. You are quite considerate. It's my duty. When you reach the peak of the Earth Chi Unity stage, let me know, and we will open the God Refining Pavilion together. All right. Calculating the time, 2 years should be enough. I will try my best to collect some Dao carrier items in these 2 years. 2 years. Hearing this, Xing Hui smiled. Maybe you don't need 2 years. The Qingyuan bloodline is more or less related to the Phoenix bloodline. If you can obtain similar treasures, it will greatly reduce the time you need to cultivate to the peak of the Earth Chi Unity stage. It is not easy to obtain such treasures. Although the phoenix is not as good as the vermilion bird, and is one of the 6 saints, it is still a top sacred beast. Such treasures may exist in Tianhuang region, but in our eastern wilderness, it is something that can only be found by chance. Is that so? I will think of a way to keep an eye out for you. Xing Hui did not push this topic to a dead end. When Xiao Chun was weak, he often used Nalan Fei's name to resolve his problems. He already owed many favors. Now that he had a certain level of strength, it was time to slowly repay these favors. For you to be able to grow to this level in a short few years, your fortuitous encounters must be pretty good. Who knows, you might even have a hidden increase in the luck attribute. I will wait for your good news. Nalan Fei smiled faintly, not taking Xing Hui's words to heart. All right, I'm going to the Sky Dome realm. I won't chat any longer. Go on then, busy person. Xing Hui nodded. His figure flashed, and he exited Nalan Fei's personal space. Then he formed hand seals and appeared in the Sky Dome realm. Although Xiao Chen's mental energy had reached rank 54, he was still somewhat lacking in breaking through to the Divine Energy Unity stage. If Xiao Chun was willing to spend 2 or 3 years to completely comprehend the fourth layer of the Great Sun Golden Crow art and continuously temper his already consummated earth chi, he might be able to break through to the divine energy unity stage. However, 2 or 3 years. Clearly, Xiao Chun was not willing to wait that long. Then, with the help of the refining God Pavilion's mysteries, he could further refine his mental strength. Once his mental strength reached the 57th or 58th level, he could use his powerful mental strength to forcefully fuse his spirit and chi. Stepping into the realm of spirit and chi as one would be the best choice. Chapter 180. To go to the God Refining Pavilion, I must first obtain an opening token. Xing Hui arrived at the Sky Dome realm and went straight to the book creation hall. Among the upper echelons of the Sky Dome realm, he felt that Song Zhen the Exalted was easier to talk to. Now that he was going to the God Refining Pavilion to cultivate, he naturally had to continue looking for Song Zhen. When Xing Hui arrived at the book creation hall, the person who received him was still the girl named Yuling. Seeing that Xing Hui wanted to see her, she was slightly surprised, but she still brought him to Song Zhen's courtyard. At this time, Zhangzhen Venerable Master was discussing something with another person. In front of them was a ballista-like machine with a diameter of 10 meters. However, from the workmanship of this machine and the runes engraved on it, it was obviously not as simple as a simple ballista. Alright, Jin Lian, I'm very satisfied with your workmanship. When you come to find me, that 10th grade treasure is yours. Thank you, Master. The man named Jin Lian hurriedly thanked him. With that treasure, I can control the characteristics of metal. I will definitely be able to create even more powerful weapons. I say, Jin Lian brat, you're not young anymore. You've already refined your gold core. Instead of spending time on these things, why don't you try to derive your own divine ability as soon as possible? Once you've mastered your divine ability, won't it be much more powerful than your machine? I was an artisan when I was a mortal, and this hobby of mine is deeply ingrained in my bones. This is a habit that can't be changed. Moreover, some of my weapons may be able to kill almighty experts who have cultivated divine abilities under certain conditions. TSK, you're talking about the giant magnetic light arrow? I don't deny its lethality. Shooting at 30 times the speed of sound, the kinetic energy produced by the acceleration is really not something that can be blocked by many. After all, even a peak saint expert can only reach 10 times the speed of sound. However, it takes 10 breaths of time to activate, right? In these 10 breaths of time, a transcendent expert would have already destroyed the giant magnetic light arrow that you spend a lot of money to create hundreds of times. That's why I said that it needs to be used under certain conditions, Jin Lian said helplessly. Haha, alright, I know your ability. Whether or not I, Song Zhen, can kill that phoenix sacred beast still depends on this profound heavy crossbow arrow of yours. I hope it is really as magical as you said, that when 2 arrows hit the target at the same time, it can produce a force field similar to a domain. The more arrows hit the target, the stronger the domain force field. In the end, it can even prevent the phoenix sacred beast from flying? Esteemed Master, you can doubt my character, but you can't doubt the equipment I made. Let me tell you, in fact, the continent we live in has a super large domain. And this super large domain has the characteristic of controlling gravity. The function of my mysterious heavy crossbow arrows is to create a small domain within the large domain, allowing them to borrow the power of the large domain. It's a super large realm with gravity. I've heard about it from you, although I've never seen a realm that a green hell realm cultivator could get rid of. Master Zhangzhen shrugged. This may be because the power of this super large domain is too scattered. Our world is so vast, and so far, no one has explored the end of the world. If you want to cover our entire world, you can imagine the degree of dispersion of the domain. I hope it's as you said, that he can really help me capture a phoenix sacred beast. I spent a long time to get Sister Li to agree to go with me. If something goes wrong, and I lose this opportunity to show off, I won't forgive you. Jin Lian patted his chest and promised, please rest assured, esteemed master. I don't dare to guarantee other aspects, But my mysterious heavy crossbow arrows will definitely make you feel that it's worth it. Alright, go. When you're free, come to my place and get that treasure you want. Alright, esteemed master, I'll go first. I wish you a great victory. Master Zongjin waved his hand. Jin Lian said goodbye and left. Because he had just sold his powerful equipment, he was obviously in a good mood. When he saw Xing Hui, he smiled and greeted him. Xing Hui nodded slightly. Pak Hui, right? What's the matter? Master Zongjin caressed the large crossbow as he asked. I want to apply for another chance to use the Refinement God Pavilion. And to use the Refinement God Pavilion, I need to hand in a Dao item, so could I trouble esteemed master to make another trip? After Xing Hui finished speaking, Master Zongjin was slightly startled at first. Then he quickly shouted, Aya, my head. My head hurts, what did you say? I didn't hear you clearly. You know I'm old. I'm not like Three Wonders, Hanging Kong, Broken Sword, and the others who can casually run around the world. Every time I descend, I'll have a headache for half a year. Xing Hui looked at Master Zongjin, who had a painful expression, and was speechless. Master Zongjin had already gone to this extent. What else could he say? But speaking of which, you went to rob people? You just got 80 Taoist rhymes a while ago. And now you have Taoist rhymes again? Don't tell me that your small place is filled with Tao items? It's just a coincidence. Xing Hui said. Dawn's 48 Taoist rhymes were equivalent to the entire accumulation of dozens of Sons of Chaos in Dawn. And Xuanwu's 26 Taoist rhymes were the accumulation of hundreds of years of the Overlord of the Ocean that spanned tens of thousands of miles. It could only be described as a coincidence that he could take all these Taoist rhymes for himself. In the entire Eastern Wilderness, including the first and second stage Sons of Chaos, the total number of people would not exceed 3,000. Xing Hui estimated that the number of Taoist rhymes flowing in the Eastern Wilderness in 10 years would not exceed 300. Alright, how many Taoist rhymes did you get? How many times do you want to go to the Divine Refinement Pavilion? I have to remind you that although the Divine Refinement Pavilion has obvious effects in the beginning, as you go there more and more, the effects will decrease exponentially. Furthermore, when your mental strength reaches the saint level, the effects will also decrease by a level. After all, the items in the Divine Refinement Pavilion used to refine one's mental strength are divine weapons left behind by us old fellows. And the items we left behind only contain the mental strength of a peak saint. Occasionally, there are a few saint-level treasures that were excavated from ancient caves. Therefore, the higher your mental strength level, the less effective those items will be for you. Therefore, if your mental strength level can still increase on its own, I don't recommend you go to the Divine Refinement Pavilion. Increase on its own. Xing Hui's current mental strength could indeed be slowly increased through his own training, but the efficiency was too slow. I'm now at a critical moment in my cultivation, and my current situation is somewhat unsafe, so I need to quickly increase my strength. Unsafe? Then that's easy. You just have to hand over 50 Taoist rhymes, and raise your contribution points to the standard. When the time comes, you can ask the Heavenly Venerable Master to make a trip to your continent. The Heavenly Venerable Master can accommodate living things, so he only needs to send an incarnation to bring you back to Tianhuang. Xing Hui's heart skipped a beat when he heard Master Zongjin's words. When he arrived at Tianhuang, the cultivation resources he would be able to enjoy were far superior to those in the Eastern Wilderness. However, while enjoying the convenience of cultivation resources, it would also be very troublesome to purchase many treasures. At the very least, it would be an extravagant hope for him to exchange for Taoist rhymes with a fourth-stage divine weapon. Let's wait a little longer. I want to obtain more Taoist rhymes before heading to Tianhuang. Then you can only look for Savage Sword. Among the 10 Sons of Chaos above level 25, Savage Sword is the only one who added the next 3 stages of chaos to his incarnation technique. His incarnation technique has already reached level 4, so the cost of sending an incarnation down is much lower than ours. For example, if I send an ordinary incarnation to Tianhuang, I'll have a headache for half a year. However, even if he sends an incarnation of the Divine Qi realm, he'll be able to recover in 3 to 4 months. Based on this characteristic, he provides protection services to some special members of the Heavenly Venerable Master. Depending on the distance, you can ask him to send his main battle incarnation down to solve your problems. That works. Why not? Let me calculate. There are a few saints in the Eastern Wilderness, and a few of them are even at level 10. If Savage Sword wants to sweep across the continent, he'll need an incarnation of the Saint Realm. Then the price will start from 30 to 40 Taoist rhymes. If he's only helping you to deal with some immortal stage 6 experts, an incarnation of the Divine Qi realm will be enough. I estimate that 15 to 20 Taoist rhymes will be enough to hire him once. Immortal stage 6, Xinghui shook his head. If he really had to spend Taoist rhymes to ask Savage Sword Venerable to send his main battle incarnation to protect him, the enemy would have to be at least at the Saint Realm. Not enough. Who did you offend? If it's an opponent at the Saint Realm, his incarnation will have to be at least at the Green Hell Realm, and the price will be at least 25 Taoist rhymes, according to the opponent's specific strength. Xinghui thought for a while, and finally shook his head. There was no need to spend 25 Taoist rhymes to solve the trouble brought by a Saint Realm expert. Moreover, he believed that as long as it didn't affect the foundation of the sect, the 10 saint sects might not send a Saint Realm expert to cause trouble. After all, a Saint Realm expert was equivalent to a stabilizing force. If an accident happened to a Saint Realm expert, it would be a great loss to the sect. Sending a Immortal Stage 6 expert was the limit. If he could show that his combat strength was not inferior to that of a Immortal Stage 6 expert, it was similar to him cultivating the sect-guarding methods of these saint sects. In the end, it was very likely that the 10 saint sects would extend an olive branch to him and admit that he was also a member of their sect. Forget it. You do have some talent. It would be a pity if you died. No one should be going to the Eastern Wilderness in a short period of time, and you urgently need the Divine Refinement Pavilion. Just treat it as a credit. Here is the token. Remember that you owe me 20 Taoist rhymes. Song Zhen the Venerable frowned, and finally handed the token to Xinghui to go to the Refining God Pavilion. Xinghui was startled. He glanced at Song Zhen the Venerable and said sincerely, "Thank you for your kindness, Song Zhen the Venerable. Go. By the way, if you want to go to the core of the Great Sun to cultivate, either within 3 months or wait for another year. I must go to the core of the Great Sun within 3 months." Song Zhen the Venerable immediately smiled. "That's good. Are you going to hunt the Phoenix Saint Beast?" "Yes, I'm lucky. I found the trace of a lone Phoenix Saint Beast. Of course I can't let it go. If you kill the Phoenix, can you sell some unnecessary things to me?" "You?" Song Zhen the Venerable glanced at Xinghui and pondered for a while. Then he said, "When I have something to sell, I will call you." "Thank you. Go." Chapter 181. Outside the Divine Refining Pavilion, it was still the same guard. Seeing Xinghui's arrival, the guard was slightly stunned. "Hey you. I'm here again." Xinghui handed over the token of Zongzhen Exalted Master. "Are you the new direct disciple of Zongzhen Exalted Master?" The guard took Xinghui's token and said with some astonishment, "Unfortunately, I don't have the fate to be a disciple of Zongzhen Exalted Master." Hehe. Zongzhen Exalted Master had taken in 6 disciples before, but 4 of them died in battle, and 1 betrayed him. Zongzhen Exalted Master's whereabouts are unknown. Even the little disciple he doted on the most left him in pursuit of so-called love. Since then, Zongzhen Exalted Master has been disheartened and has been sitting in the book creation hall. He has not taken in any more disciples. The guard seemed to be quite familiar with Zongzhen Exalted Master, and said with regret, "Disheartened?" Xinghui couldn't see why Zongzhen Exalted Master was disheartened. "Haha, disheartened but not without any pursuit, right?" The guard said and directly said, "Okay, you can go in. I don't have to line up this time. The team in front of you just left, and there are no new team applications for the time being." The guard said, and opened the door of the Divine Refining Pavilion for Xinghui. Because it was not the first time he came here. This time Xinghui came to the position of the Divine Refining Pavilion with ease. standing in front of the divine refining sword. He couldn't help but think of the broken sword he obtained by chance. The sword intent contained in the broken sword was actually quite similar to the divine refining sword. But the difference was that the power contained in the broken sword was more domineering and violent. And even this was due to the layer of solid energy crystal reducing it. If he removed the layer of solid energy crystal on the surface of the broken sword, and caused the true power of the broken sword to erupt, even if he had the chi of primordial spirit, and his mental strength had been raised to the 54th level, he would still die. Slightly coming back to his senses, Xing Hui's gaze fell on the divine refining sword again. The next moment, the sword intent in the divine refining sword was drawn out, and his spirit once again fell into the special environment where his sense of existence was erased. While comprehending the sword intent in the light condensation sword, he was constantly comparing and correcting the sword intent in the light condensation sword with the sword intent in the broken sword. He absorbed the characteristics of the two sword intents and combined them with the characteristics of his torch dragon soul to derive his own unique sword intent. Under the amplification of his strong comprehension ability, the entire process proceeded in an orderly manner. When Qing Su used the light condensing sword to temper his mind for the second time, Venerable Master Zhu Zhao, who was still helpless against the chessboard mechanism in the ancient dwelling, sensed something as well. He glanced in Qing Su's direction again subconsciously. What? Master Zhu Zhao seemed to have thought of something. He glanced at the Refining God Pavilion, and soon saw Xing Hui in the Refining God Pavilion. This kid, where did he get so many Taoist rhymes from? Every time the Refining God Pavilion opens, there are 20 Taoist rhymes. Although we have Master Zhu Zhao, and can obtain more than 1,000 Taoist rhymes each year, half of these 1,000 Taoist rhymes need to be used for daily maintenance, such as replenishing the chi of primordial spirit for the Refining God Pavilion, etc. The remaining 500 or so are divided equally between the 10 of us and the upper echelons of the parliament. In the end, only about 30 Taoist rhymes will land in our hands every day. The rest can only be obtained through our own means. And this kid, it has only been a few months, and he has already spent more than 100 Taoist rhymes? It's indeed a lot. But what really interests me is that he has already comprehended the sword intent I left in the divine refining sword. Master Zhu Zhao said with a smile. Oh. Master Zhu Zhao was slightly taken aback. He focused his attention on Xing Hui. Soon, a look of astonishment appeared on his face. His spiritual strength should only be around level 53 or 34. With this level of spiritual strength, he actually didn't have a mental breakdown after comprehending the sword intent in your divine refining sword for the second time. That's really impressive. Zhu Zhao, it seems that you'll be able to accept a good disciple soon. Master Zhu Zhao did not deny it this time. Xing Hui's second performance was indeed a little surprising to him. Especially, the Tao in the divine refining sword was the path that he had originally hoped to take. After a while, Master Zhu Zhao came back to his senses. The sword wielder has his spiritual imprint on his hand, right? Where is he? Since you want to accept him as your disciple, I'll make an exception and ask Lung Lan for you. After Venerable Master Firmament finished speaking, he quickly sent out a strand of his divine consciousness to ask the sword bearer in the sky. Not long after, he raised his head and said with a bitter smile, Lung Lan is really stubborn. She actually doesn't want to reveal this kid's spiritual imprint, saying that it's her duty. Didn't we choose her as the sword wielder because we liked her character? Only the sword wielder can control the spiritual imprint. The rules can't be broken, even if we are the founders of the divine refining sword. Although I can't get this kid's exact location from Lung Lan, it's not too troublesome to find him. This is my divine refining sword. It's impossible for him to not reveal his information when he talks to others in the divine refining sword. I just need to sort out this information, and I'll be able to deduce his location. You're really considerate. Haha, you're the #1 expert in the divine refining sword. If I don't care about you, who else can I care about? I need some time to deduce this data. Wait a moment. Master Zhu Zhao nodded slightly. Soon, half a month had passed. Got it. Haha, although it's a little troublesome, but in this world, there's nothing to be afraid of. According to Zizhao's information, this little guy was recommended by a peripheral member called Qingyu. That Qingyu, according to the information in the database, is from the Eastern Wasteland. Thus, I set the location of the information in the Eastern Wasteland. Later on, I found out that he had a deal with Zhongjin the Venerable. During a casual conversation with Zhongjin the Venerable, I found out that Zhongjin the Venerable's incarnation had descended to an unknown small place in the Eastern Wasteland. Using this information, I went to Shinji Pavilion to understand a little, and immediately deduced that the island is called Dragon Whale Island. Oh, now it's called Dragon Slaying Island. The island has an island master called Qing Su, a spirit refining realm cultivator. But his battle strength is amazing. With a spirit refining realm cultivation, he killed a spirit chi unification realm cultivator with one sword strike. Eastern Wasteland, Zonglong Island, Xinghui. Well, although the information is clear, I found that we did something unnecessary. A hint of helplessness could be seen on Master Firmament's face as he spoke. Oh, what do you mean? This kid called Xinghui wanted to make a deal, but Zhongjin Venerable Master found out that no one went to the Eastern Wasteland to make a deal. Plus, he was too lazy to send his incarnation down, so he actually let that kid go to the Divine Refining Pavilion on credit. If you announce that you're going to the Eastern Wasteland, we don't need to investigate his information. He'll come to us himself. Hehe. Zhongjin, he's still so frivolous. Not necessarily frivolous. Master Zhu Zhao, if I'm not wrong, Zhongjin should be a little optimistic about this kid. Therefore, if you really want to make a move, you have to be quick. Otherwise, Zhongjin might be one step ahead of you, and take him as a disciple. Master Zhu Zhao nodded, but his eyes fell on the chessboard in front of him. You don't have to worry about this chessboard for now. It's been 3 years, and we still haven't found anything. A few more months won't make a difference. Well then, I'll announce to the public that I'll go to the Eastern Wasteland to make a deal in 2 months. As for the location, let's choose a place not far from Zonglong Island. After the deal, my incarnation won't return. Instead, I'll stay there for a few months to understand his character. Actually, after knowing his name and origin, the Divine Secret Pavilion will be able to give you his detailed information very soon. No, Master Zhu Zhao shook his head. I want to see it with my own eyes. When Firmament Master heard this, he didn't insist. You and Songjun are both like this. You care too much about your disciples. Haha, but thanks to your attitude, you were able to cultivate Songjian, Yulan, and a series of other outstanding core members. After we old fellows are buried, Firmament Master will have to hand it over to them. Master Zhu Zhao smiled and nodded. After a while, his gaze returned to the Refining God Pavilion. The sword intent in the condensing light sword was left behind by me back then. Since I stepped into the Divine Realm, I haven't left behind any sword intent that belongs to me in the Refining God Pavilion, right? If that's the case, I might as well continue to stay in the light condensation sword. Master Zhu Zhao immediately understood why Master Zhu Zhao did this. This guy's understanding of the sword essence in the light condensation sword is getting deeper and deeper. He's already developed a resistance to it. After half a month, the sword essence in the light condensation sword can barely cause severe injuries to him, let alone make his mind collapse. At this rate, after a month, his mind can only be refined to level 56, or even level 55 at most. You suddenly want to strengthen the sword essence in the light condensation sword to help him, right? I just want to see where his limit is. Master Zhu Zhao, this is your world. Help me. Okay. As soon as the two of them finished speaking, a powerful sword intent suddenly rose from Master Zhu Zhao's body. Then, under the control of Master Firmament, it crossed through the void and headed straight for the condensing light sword in the Refining God Pavilion. The giants in Master Zhu Zhao and Zhongjin and Master Zhu Zhao sensed this change, but they did not think too much about it. As for the others, including Xinghui, who was close at hand, they did not notice anything. Of course, for Xinghui, this was only temporary. As he recovered from the sword essence injury of the light condensation sword, He picked up the light condensation sword with familiarity. With a relatively relaxed mood, he inserted his sword essence as usual, activating the sword essence contained in the light condensation sword. Then he suffered a tragedy. Chapter 182. A month passed by very quickly. Xing Hui was very satisfied with the results of his cultivation in the Refining God Pavilion in the past month. He did not know why the sword intent of the light coagulation sword had suddenly increased by several times, but the effect of the light coagulation sword, which had been slightly reduced in tempering his mental power, immediately increased with the increase of the sword intent. He originally thought that the 1 month of mental power tempering could raise his mental power level from the 54th level to the 56th level, but because of the change in the light coagulation sword, the final result made him overjoyed. His mental power level had risen to the 58th level, an increase of 4 mental power levels. It had to be said that this was an unexpected gain. In addition, as he constantly collided with the sword intent of the light coagulation sword, he also had a new understanding of his own sword intent. He gradually broke away from the elementary sword intent of the Dongyang sword mantra and became more exquisite. According to the plan of this world for sword intent, his sword intent had already entered the small success stage. After tempering his mind, Xing Hui spent more than 10 days to stabilize his mental power. Has anything happened in the past month? Xing Hui summoned Dan Taiying and asked habitually. Hearing that Xing Hui, the island master, was finally concerned about the situation of dragon-slaying island, Dan Taiying was both happy and worried. Logically speaking, Xing Hui had handed over all matters of dragon-slaying island to her, and she was in charge of the life and death of millions of people on dragon-slaying island. She should be happy, but the terrible situation overseas really did not make her happy. At present, the entire overseas region is in turmoil. The Hunyuan Heaven sect, the Wuxia sword sect, the Jin Wu religion, the Green Lotus sword sect, and the Create Evolve Mysterious sect are sweeping through the overseas region. They have destroyed countless islands, and more than 100 experts on the Divine Dragon list have died. As for the number of islands that have been breached, the entire overseas region is in danger. Oh, the sweeping has already begun? A sword son of the Limitless Sword sect obtained a stalk of Hunyuan grass when he defeated the Cold Snow Island ranked number 462 on the Divine Dragon list. Coincidentally, a peak master of the Create Evolve Mysterious sect found out about this matter. The Create Evolve Mysterious sect used the excuse that they were the ones who targeted the Cold Snow Island first, and joined forces with several other experts to capture the Sword Sun alive. They wanted to use the Sword Sun to threaten the Limitless Sword sect. However, the Limitless Sword sect was just as overbearing and didn't give in to threats. Instead, several experts joined forces to capture a peak master of the Create Evolve Mysterious sect and threaten him instead. The atmosphere is getting more and more tense. Currently, the Limitless Sword sect, Hunyuan Heaven sect, Golden Crow sect, and Green Lotus Sword sect are all rushing towards the sea region where the Cold Snow Island is located. Oh, the Hunyuan Heavenly sect wants to join Shadow Sword under the matchmaking of the Limitless Sword sect, which is why they chose to sweep across the ocean and display their strength to the Shadow Sword envoy. Therefore, the Create Evolve Mysterious sect will naturally obstruct them. The Limitless Sword sect is already a huge threat to the Create Evolve Mysterious sect. If the Limitless Sword sect is allowed to bring the Hunyuan Heavenly sect to join Shadow Sword, the two sects will completely unite. At that time, even the Create Evolve Mysterious sect will have a headache. Xing Hui listened and said, the Create Evolve Mysterious sect, the Wuxia sword sect, and the other forces will be facing less pressure. Pay close attention to the movements of the Create Evolve Mysterious sect, the Wuxia sword sect, and the Hunyuan Heaven sect. If there are any changes, inform me immediately. Yes, I understand. Xing Hui nodded. At this moment, Dan Taiying paused for a moment and said, Island Lord, during this period of time, many islands have sought refuge with our dragon-slaying island. Among them, the famous Celestial Master Island sent an envoy over. They want to join our dragon-slaying island and seek our protection. Celestial Master Island? Xing Hui was slightly taken aback. He recalled this island and said, Celestial Master Island's Island Lord Boeing. I remember that her ranking is 1 point higher than the Dragon Whale Island's Island Lord. She is also at the intermediate stage of the Divine Chi Unison stage. Such a person actually wants to seek refuge with our Dragon-Slaying Island? Dragon-Slaying Island has received your protection. Naturally, it is not comparable to the Dragon Whale Island. It is reasonable for the Celestial Master Island to seek refuge with you. If Island Lord is willing to accept her, you can find a time to meet her. If not, I will directly reject her envoy. Our Dragon-Slaying Island will take the step of unifying all the islands in the sea sooner or later. This is the general plan that I made in advance. It will not change for any reason. Since there are people seeking refuge, this is a good sign. In 1.5 months, I will meet her in 1.5 months. Yes, I will reply to the Celestial Master Island's Island Lord. Xing Hui nodded. At the same time he asked, Has Wu Yu broken through to the Divine Chi Unison stage? Uncle Wu is now at the crucial moment of breaking through to the Divine Chi Unison stage. He should be able to successfully take that crucial step in the next few months. All right. As Xing Hui's strength continued to increase, he did not think highly of ordinary Divine Chi Unison stage cultivators. However, in the sea, the Divine Chi Unison stage was the best benchmark to measure the overall strength of an island. If there were not enough Divine Chi Unison stage experts on your island, you would not be able to obtain the corresponding influence, even if you had a strong strength. You cannot slack off on your own cultivation. Didn't Ling Yu bring over a lot of resources? If you need anything, ask her directly. At the same time, if there is anything you don't understand, ask her as soon as possible. Just say that it is my idea. Yes, but Lord Ling Yu is in seclusion during this period. She said that she is going to step into the Green Netherworld realm. When she comes out of seclusion, I will definitely go and ask her immediately. Oh, step into the Green Netherworld realm? When Xing Hui heard this, he was a little surprised. He had wanted Ling Yu to quickly advance to the Green Netherworld realm. Now it seemed that she had listened to him. However, she might not have been so eager to break through to the Green Netherworld realm, because she was following his orders. She might be preparing a way out for him. Xing Hui knew that it would not be so easy for him to completely subdue Ling Yu in such a short period of time. Regardless of whether it was Xian Long or Blazing Glory, they were not convinced when they first joined him. However, it did not matter. As his cultivation continued to increase, when he grew to the point where he needed them to look up to him and see clearly the various benefits of following him, they would naturally be loyal to him and do their best to carry out his orders without the need for the Chaos Oath. Alright, keep an eye on Dragon-Slaying Island. If there is nothing important, don't disturb me. I will try to break through to the Divine Chi Unison stage during this seclusion. Divine Chi Unison stage? Dan Taiying's beautiful eyes immediately widened. Her face was filled with shock and excitement. Island Master, are you finally going to recover to the Divine Chi Unison stage? After a while, she seemed to realize that she had misspoken. She hurriedly said, Island Master is finally going to break through to the Divine Chi Unison stage. This is really worth celebrating. Xing Hui glanced at Dan Taiying. Naturally, he understood why she had said the first half of her sentence. The upper echelon of Dragon-Slaying Island had always suspected that He Qing Su was actually a peak master who had been hiding his strength. It was just that due to some special reason, he was heavily injured and unable to use his cultivation. Now that his cultivation was increasing by a realm a year, it was actually a manifestation of his injuries gradually recovering. As for his true cultivation, no one knew. Xing Hui found this rumor funny, but he was too lazy to expose it. As the supreme ruler of Dragon-Slaying Island, there was no harm in maintaining his mysterious and powerful image. Sky Dome Realm. Xing Hui once again appeared in Master Cangzhen's book creation hall. Pak Hui, you came at the right time. You have to return the Taoist rhymes that you owe me. In a month's time, Zhu Zhao will go to the Eastern Wilderness. Don't forget about it. Master Zhu Zhao is going to the Eastern Wilderness? Xing Hui was stunned. However, he quickly nodded. I understand. I will go there when the time comes. That's good. After Master Songjun finished speaking, he looked at Xing Hui and sized him up. You didn't come this time for the opportunity to cultivate at the core of the Great Sun Realm, right? Yes. Master, please help me? Master Songjun felt a little heartache. In fact, the price that he gave Xing Hui to cultivate at the core of the Great Sun Realm was too low. However, since he had already said it, he naturally could not go back on his words. He could only force himself to say, "All right, I will bring you there now. You are not thinking of breaking through to the next stage this time, right?" "That's right." Master Songjun nodded. "Here you are." Xianyang bead. Xing Hui looked at the bead that Master Songjun handed over. He was a little envious. Unlike the Yang devouring bead, which was only equivalent to a 6th level rare treasure, and could only be immune to 6th level fire attribute damage, the Xianyang bead had reached an astonishing 12th level, and could be immune to 120 level fire attribute damage. Such rare treasures could be counted on one's fingers in the entire heavenly vault. If he could have this item, he would not need to rely on Lai Wuyang to obtain the 5th and 6th levels of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. Let's go. Master Songjun pulled Xing Hui, and once again took him to experience the mysteries of traveling through the void. Not long after, they arrived at the surface of the Great Sun Realm's core. For a moment, a continuous stream of terrifying heat flow rolled over again. TSK, I have to think about it. When my personal space rises to 10th level, I will spend 100 Taoist rhymes to buy a diting egg and hatch it. If I can witness the growth of a sacred beast, diting, it will be immeasurably beneficial to my cultivation. In time, it won't be difficult to cultivate a domain. Master Songjun glanced at the golden crow with a hint of envy in his eyes. The purchase you mentioned, is it the Chaos Treasure Pavilion? Of course it's the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. It may be difficult to get a divine beast egg, but it's quite easy to buy a sacred beast egg. Master Songjun ignored Xing Hui as he spoke. Well, it's not your first time here. Cultivate by yourself. I'll leave first. Go ahead, Master. Master Songjun nodded. His figure flashed and disappeared without a trace. Seeing that Master Songjun had left, Xing Hui took a deep breath and looked at the golden crow. The Chaos Treasure Pavilion. I really want to raise the level of the Chaos Treasure Pavilion to 30th level as soon as possible. After a moment, he calmed his mind. It was too early to think about that now. What he needed to do now was to enter seclusion and integrate his spirit into his true qi. He would use his spirit to push his true qi and advance to the spirit and qi integration realm. Chapter 183. The Spirit Refining Realm is a type of transformation derived from the True Qi realm. The True Qi can freely change between True Qi and Earth Qi, causing the True Qi to possess even more terrifying killing power. The Spirit and Qi Unity realm is the fusion of the Spirit and True Qi, causing the True Qi to possess spirituality. This type of True Qi is equivalent to an extension of the cultivator's consciousness. Some cultivators with strong spirit can often inject their true qi into the enemy's body for 8 to 10 years without releasing it, and then explode at the crucial moment to deal a fatal blow to the enemy. There are even some strong cultivators who can inject their true qi into something. After 10 years, 100 years, or even 1,000 years, the true qi can still be maintained, and at the crucial moment, deal a heavy blow to the enemy. Just like the backup left by Xuanwu outside the cave by Xuanwu. The protective talismans given to the younger generation by the sect leaders, palace masters, Dharmaraja, and elders are also the same. This is the beginning of a cultivator's ability to transcend the mortal world. Due to the true qi from this realm, the Spirit and Qi Unity realm cultivator's influence is far from what a spirit refining realm cultivator can compare to. One can only protect oneself, while the other can help the world. Qing Su's mental strength had already reached the 58th level under the tempering of the Refining God Pavilion, so the process of fusing his mental strength with true qi was very smooth. In particular, he was in a unique cultivation environment like the core of the sun. Once his true qi was exhausted from carrying the mental strength, it would be replenished endlessly. Under these circumstances, his cultivation could only be described as advancing by leaps and bounds. Compared to the spirit refining realm, which uses the purity of earth qi to divide into beginner, small success, large success, and perfection, the spirit and qi unity realm uses the spirit to drive the true qi, the spirit to fuse with the true qi to leave the body to survive, and the true qi to draw a bow without releasing. To put it bluntly, these small stages are the process of the spirit polishing the true qi. However, this process would consume a lot of Jin qi. For ordinary people, depending on their spiritual power, success rate, and purity of Jin qi, it would take them years, decades, or even decades to complete this process. However, Xing Hui, with the help of the Great Sun Core, could shorten this time by 10 times, or even 100 times. With the foundation of the Crimson Crow soul, his success rate was not low. If it were an ordinary person, it would naturally not be easy to make up for the purity of the divine grade vital energy. However, there was an endless supply of the essence of the sun around him, so he did not have to worry at all. In addition, his mental strength level was already close to that of an elite of the 6th level of immortality. After a round of polishing, he had already completed the promotion of his mental strength to his vital energy on the 10th day of his seclusion. On the 18th day, his spirit and Jinqi had completely merged into one. Jinqi had become an extension of his consciousness. Regardless of whether it was power, exhaustion, or utilization rate, everything had been greatly improved. On the 29th day, for the first time, he managed to use his Jinqi to condense an energy body that belonged to him. He walked on the core of the sun for a few breaths before dispersing. 1 month. Not only had he stepped into the realm of unity of spirit and qi, but he had also reached the great success stage of unity of spirit and qi, which was the late stage. Phew! Xing Hui exhaled slightly. After he exhaled this breath, it turned into a whirlpool easily, and turned into a circle of air. Alright, time's up. At this time, Zhongjin the Venerable appeared beside Xing Hui. In fact, strictly speaking, it's a bit of a waste to cultivate the realm of unity of spirit and qi, and the green hell realm on the core of the sun. These two realms, one is to polish one's mental strength and vital energy, and the other is to integrate one's vital energy with the vital energy of heaven and earth. Using the vital energy of heaven and earth, one can form the power of heaven and earth. Therefore, the green hell realm is often called the celestial realm. These two realms do not require too much energy. On the contrary, it's the 6th level of immortality that requires a huge amount of energy to condense a combat body. Xing Hui nodded. It was indeed a bit of a waste to cultivate the realm of unity of spirit and qi on the core of the sun. However, he was pressed for time. As long as he could shorten the cultivation time, he had to continue even if it was a waste. Under the guidance of Zhongjin the Venerable, Xing Hui quickly returned to the book creation hall. Go and understand the mysteries of the realm of unity of spirit and qi. During this period of time, your strength has increased rapidly. You need to polish your vital energy. In the Saint realm, there's a realm called the transformative realm. If you can't control your vital energy, you won't have any hope of breaking through in this lifetime. I understand. In the next period of time, I will properly polish my vital energy. There's a place called Shaoyangxi City in the eastern wilderness, right? The trading point that Zhu Zhao chose is in Shaoyangxi City. There are still 14 days before the trading date. Don't miss it. Yes. Go. Zhongjin the Venerable waved his hand. Xing Hui nodded and left the Sky Dome realm. Late stage of unity of spirit and qi. A big tree is shady. Before I joined the Sky Dome realm, I didn't even dare to imagine that I could cultivate from the vital energy realm to this level in less than a year. Xing Hui returned to his personal space inside. Previously, his cultivation speed was extremely fast. He had already awakened and cultivated his vital energy in more than a year. If it were an ordinary person, it would also be considered a godly speed of cultivation. However, compared to the cultivation speed with the Sky Dome realm, it was more than 10 times slower. It was no wonder that the outstanding disciples of the top sects of Heaven Wasteland domain would often be able to cultivate to the Saint realm within a few decades. With such a unique cultivation environment, even the most untalented person would not be slow in cultivation. Of course, the prerequisite was that you had enough resources or an outstanding background. Relying on the special effect of the golden blood, Xing Hui carried a huge amount of energy back into his body. After 10 days, he truly stepped into the realm of unity of spirit and qi. Then, he returned to the personal space of the Chaos Temple and glanced at his character model. Chaos level, level 20, recovery level 5, comprehension level 4, sword talent level 3, divine technique level 2, divine protection level 1, personal space level 2, appraisal level 1, advancement level 1. Required Taoist aura, 78100, cultivation level, unity of spirit and qi. Attack level, 58, defense level, 51, speed level, 55, spirit level, 58. It was like a model of a green netherworld realm expert. Moreover, with the yang devouring bead to make up for the weakness of his defense, his battle strength would not be inferior to any late green netherworld realm expert when facing a cultivator of fire attribute vital energy. If he also had the golden crow sword, the golden flame armor, and the 6th grade flying sword, he would not be afraid of Lai Ji and other Dharmaraja level existences in the Jinwu religion, who were second only to the Supreme Elder. Chaos level 20, I have finally reached the level when I inherited Dongqian. Xing Hui muttered to himself. His chaos level had been raised long ago, but he had not upgraded many of his special abilities. He did not intend to use the newly added revival level 20 chaos level. To him, this ability was a little useless. The cooldown time of 100 years had directly cut off his thoughts of spending one level on this ability. As for the rest, recovery, comprehension, sword talent, divine technique, personal space, he wanted to upgrade all of them. When the incarnation skill comes out, I will definitely use it to go to other places in the world to collect odilic aura. In this way, it would be best to upgrade my personal space to level 5. If the conditions permit, it might even be upgraded to level 10, reaching the level where I can bring living things with me. However, my personal space is still 8 levels away from level 10. It is too far away. Xing Hui weighed the pros and cons for a moment before his gaze fell on comprehension. Any skill that reached level 5 would undergo a small mutation. Now that his comprehension had reached level 4, he only needed one more level to upgrade it to reach level 5 mutation. If that was the case, buzz. With a thought, Xing Hui's comprehension, which was originally at level 4, was directly upgraded to level 5. Almost at the same time when his comprehension increased to level 5, Xing Hui felt that his brain had become clearer, and the speed at which it worked became smoother. Some questions that he could not understand before were easily answered. However, this was not the main point. The main point was, when his comprehension reached level 5, he immediately obtained the special effects of level 5 abilities. Sword Essence Mastery. All sorts of thoughts regarding Sword Essence gushed into his mind, and it did not take long for Xing Hui to generate several types of Sword Essence that could strengthen his Sword Essence and make it more compatible with the Shining Dragon bloodline. Taking advantage of this momentary inspiration, Xing Hui hurriedly grasped the opportunity and sank into a state of comprehension of Sword Essence. This state of comprehension lasted for 3 whole days. 3 days later, Xing Hui opened his eyes and immediately left his personal space. He called out to the guards outside the courtyard, "Summon 1 true energy realm and 1 stellar energy realm guard, as well as Dan Tating and Madame Dogwood." Yes, the guard quickly withdrew. While Xing Hui was summarizing the changes in his Sword Essence, Dan Tating, Madame Dogwood, and 4 true energy realm and stellar energy realm guards had already appeared outside Xing Hui's courtyard. Not only these guards, but even Dan Taiying had come after hearing the commotion. When Xing Hui stepped out of the courtyard, everyone hurriedly saluted loudly, "Greetings, Island Master." Xing Hui nodded. His gaze swept across the guards, and he could vaguely see the reverence in their eyes. Obviously, this had something to do with Dan Taiying's promotion of him as a hidden expert on Dragon Beheading Island. "Island Master, Since we don't know what true energy realm and stellar energy realm you're referring to are, the 4 true energy realm and stellar energy realm guards are respectively at the early, middle, late, and peak stages. What do you think? Xinghui glanced at them. It seemed that Dragon Beheading Island had indeed recruited many true energy realm and stellar energy realm experts during this period of time. With his order, Dan Taiying and the others could gather all 4 small stages of true energy realm and stellar energy realm. All right, I've made some progress in my cultivation recently, and I need your cooperation. It's our honor to be able to cooperate with Island Master. Let's start with the true energy realm. Xinghui's gaze fell on the 4 true energy realm guards. In a while, I'll use sword essence to attack you. If you can't take it, remember to say something. Yes. The 4 true energy realm guards hurriedly focused their minds and calmed their chi. Xinghui didn't waste any time. The giant sword phantom in his spiritual world suddenly appeared, and a powerful sword essence with a dazzling brilliance instantly shone through his eyes into the spiritual world of the 4 true energy realm guards. With the impact of this sword essence, the 4 true energy realm guards seemed to nothing out of the ordinary. When this scene fell into the eyes of Madame Dogwood, Dan Tating, and Dan Taiying, their expressions became rather strange. Chapter 184. Xinghui retracted his sword intent and looked at the 4 true Qi realm guards. Meanwhile, the 4 true Qi realm guards stared at Qing Su in a daze as well. The 2 of them stared at each other, making the atmosphere very awkward. Sir, if there's a problem with the secret method you're cultivating, it's fine. After all, it's not easy to cultivate a secret method. Dan Taiying hesitated for a moment, but in order to prevent the awkward atmosphere from continuing, he still opened his mouth to comfort them. Madame Zhu Yu and Dan Tating nodded slightly. Island Lord's cultivation method is related to the strength of your soul, right? Without a significant advantage, it's hard to see anything from a soul attack. A Saint Realm cultivator can't rely on the soul to cause too much damage to an Immortal Realm cultivator. Even if there's a corresponding secret method, the gap won't be reduced by much. Obviously, they had the same idea as Dan Taiying. They thought that Xinghui's so-called secret method had failed. Xinghui glanced at Dan Taiying, but did not speak. Instead, his gaze fell on the 4 spirit refining realm guards. Get ready. Yes. The 4 spirit refining realm guards responded at the same time. Although they didn't know what Xinghui's so-called secret method looked like, they still calmed down and waited for the next change. Just like last time, Madame Zhu Yu, Dan Tating, and Dan Taiying could clearly feel a majestic sword intent rising from Xinghui's body. This sword intent was so strong that even they felt a certain amount of pressure. But Madame Zhu Yu, Dan Tating, and Dan Taiying glanced at the 4 spirit refining realm cultivators, who were being attacked. The early and middle spirit refining realm cultivators didn't have any reaction. Their eyes were dull, while the late and peak spirit refining realm cultivators showed signs of struggle, as if they were resisting something. This scene caused the 3 of them to be slightly startled. Could it be this secret method is really effective? Under the shocked gazes of the 3, Xinghui withdrew his sword intent. As he retracted his sword intent, the late and peak spirit refining guards' foreheads were covered with sweat. Their eyes were filled with shock. On the other hand, the early and middle spirit refining guards seemed to have felt something. They frowned but could not say anything. How do you feel? Let's start with you. Xinghui's gaze landed on the guard. Reporting to Island Master, this subordinate didn't feel anything. I just felt like the surroundings suddenly became quiet for a while. What about you? Xinghui's gaze turned towards the middle stage spirit refining realm guard. This subordinate also feels that the surroundings are extremely quiet. However, this kind of silence doesn't come from when no one is talking. Instead, it's as if even the sound of the wind and the small voices have fallen into a deathly silence. Speaking till here, the middle stage spirit refining realm guard seemed to have understood what was wrong and quickly said, "Yes, dead silence." It was deathly stillness. Although we did not receive any injuries, in that instant, the surroundings became deathly stillness. I also had the same feeling. That's why I tried to get rid of that deathly stillness. Me too. When I fell into that deathly stillness, I felt as if I had lost my ability to react to the outside world. The late spirit refining and peak spirit refining realm guards quickly followed suit. Oh. Xing Hui looked at the four and nodded slightly. Those below the early spirit refining realm would not be able to react. Those in the middle stage could faintly feel it, but did not have the qualifications to struggle. As for those in the late and peak spirit refining realm, although they could feel the attack and struggle, it was useless. Island Master, you Madame Zhuyu, Dan Tating, and Dan Taiying finally reacted. Xing Hui actually learned a secret method. Moreover, it's a secret method that attacks the soul? Dan Tating, you go first. Yes. Dan Tating stepped forward with a solemn expression. At this moment, he no longer dared to underestimate Xing Hui's newly learned secret method. Xing Hui did not stop, and sent out a sword intent. Dan Tating's face immediately changed, and a painful struggle emerged on his face. Regarding this, Xing Hui frowned. However, unlike the other spirit refining realm guards, he did not stop after a try. Instead, his sword intent burst out, and continuously attacked Dan Tating's spiritual world. Finally, the painful struggle on Dan Tating's face gradually disappeared, and finally returned to normal. Just like the other true Qi realm guards, he no longer had any reaction to the outside world. His eyes were somewhat dull. Seeing this scene, Dan Taiying and Madame Zhuyu both sucked in a breath of cold air. Although they did not know what kind of secret method Xing Hui had created, based on the situation before them, Dan Tating, the newly advanced spirit and Qi unity realm expert, was undoubtedly under control. Xing Hui withdrew his sword intent, and a trace of exhaustion could be seen in his eyes. Following Xing Hui's withdrawal of his sword intent, Dan Tating suddenly quivered and completely woke up. Soon, as he carefully recalled what had just happened, a look of horror emerged on his face. Island Master, this secret method of yours can actually cut off the soul's perception of the outside world? It can seal a person's soul in a space. It's not cutting off the soul's perception of the outside world, or sealing a person's soul in a space. It's stopping your thoughts. Xing Hui shook his head. However, it's obvious that my cultivation of this secret method has not reached perfection. When true Qi realm and spirit refining realm cultivators are attacked by me, their thoughts will immediately stop, to the point that they don't even know if I have attacked. This is because in our eyes, my attack has already lasted for a breath of time, but they did not feel anything. When their thoughts stop, that breath of time is equivalent to erasing them. Only when they reach the spirit refining realm will they be able to slightly sense it. When you reach the spirit and Qi unity realm, you will be able to struggle free. If I had not strengthened my sword intent just now, your soul would have been able to struggle free from that deathly stillness, and once again feel the flow of time in the outside world. Stop my thoughts. If a person's thoughts stop working, it's equivalent to falling into a coma. Wouldn't that be like being trampled on? No. A person who falls into a coma will still have an instinctive perception of danger. Once they encounter danger, they can still fight back, or at least their true Qi will automatically protect their body. However, if their thoughts stop working, even a child with a knife can kill them. Dan Tating, Dan Taiying, Madame Duyu, and the others immediately realized the horror of this secret method. Madame Duyu, it's your turn now. Try it. According to Dan Tating's reaction, you should be able to struggle free from my sword intent. Yes. Madame Duyu's expression was solemn. She braced herself, as if she was facing a great enemy. Immediately, Qing Su activated the sword intent again, and the figure of the torch dragon in the spiritual world seemed to open its eyes. It turned into two streaks of profound light that circulated according to the sword intent, shooting out and piercing Madame Juyu's spiritual world. Madame Juyu's face changed, but just as Xing Hui had guessed, Madame Duyu, who was using the soul-absorbing bell, only needed a moment to struggle free from Xing Hui's attack. At the same time, her figure could not help but retreat slightly. However, for some reason, her retreating figure was rather slow, as if she was deliberately maintaining slow motion. Of course, This so-called slow motion lasted less than half a breath's time. In the next moment, she had completely regained consciousness, and her face was pale. As expected, seeing Madame Du Yu struggle free, the exhaustion in Xing Hui's eyes deepened. Madame Du Yu's spiritual level has reached the 48th level. Compared to me, it's just 10 levels lower. At the 10th level, she can quickly awaken from my sword intent attack. However, he did not look surprised. Although Madame Du Yu had struggled to awaken from his sword intent attack, it had taken her nearly a breath's time. If he had suddenly attacked in a battle of life and death, the effect of a breath's time would have been enough for him to kill her 10 times over. Moreover, Madame Du Yu was on guard against my attack when she was fully alert. If I were to suddenly attack, even an early-stage Azure Netherworld expert would be affected. Very soon, Qing Su came to a conclusion about the power of his newly comprehended sword intent secret technique. However, after a while, he shook his head with a wry smile. It could only affect early-stage Azure Netherworld experts. With his current strength, even if he did not take the divine art into account, it should be more than enough to deal with early-stage Azure Netherworld experts. This sword intent attack would only make it easier for him to deal with early-stage Azure Netherworld experts. Island Master, this secret method is simply too terrifying. The feeling of having one's thoughts forcibly frozen is simply. At this moment, Madame Du Yu seemed to have truly recovered from Xing Hui's attack, and there was still a lingering fear in her eyes. Unfortunately, its power is too weak. It still needs to be improved, Xing Hui said. Attacks that target the spirit have always been very rare. Usually, only experts who have condensed force and have the advantage of at least one level of spirit can cause damage to others with the power of their spirit alone. Island Master, to use a secret method to produce such an effect is simply unprecedented. Madame Du Yu spoke with sincere reverence. Force. Xing Hui's heart skipped a beat. I didn't expect you to know about the second level of martial intent. When I obtained the soul-sucking bell, I also received a corresponding method that recorded similar content. If I could comprehend the mysteries of force, the power of the soul-sucking bell would be even more obvious. Unfortunately, Madame Du Yu looked ashamed. Xing Hui's heart skipped a beat when he heard this. His spirit level was just above Madame Du Yu's 10th level, and he had achieved initial success in sword intent. According to his calculations, this secret method should be able to affect Azure Netherworld experts. Didn't that mean that if he could achieve great success in sword intent, the target would be raised to the mid-stage Azure Netherworld realm? If his sword intent was perfected, he would be at the late-stage Azure Netherworld realm. And if he could comprehend sword force, cultivators of the same spirit level as him would be affected as well. Chapter 185. Congratulations, Island Master, for successfully cultivating the secret technique. Madame Du Yu immediately cupped her hands and congratulated him. Dan Taiying and Dan Tating, who had come to their senses, hurriedly congratulated him as well. They also understood how precious the secret technique of the soul was. A soul secret technique that could even affect a blue Netherworld realm expert. Just thinking about it, one would know how incredible it was. All right, there's no need to tell anyone about this. The guards will also reward you. You may leave. Yes, Madame Du Yu, Dan Taiying, and Dan Tating responded respectfully. By the way, the emissary of the Celestial Master Island should have arrived for some time. Where is he now? This? Dan Taiying looked a little embarrassed when he heard Xing Hui's question. Why? Is there a change? Yes, Dan Taiying said softly. The Celestial Master Island originally wanted to rely on our dragon-slaying island. However, not long ago, a new alliance emerged in our sea region. This alliance is called the Life Moon Alliance. It's led by Zuo of the Tensha of Gojozian of Shaoyang City, Yu Xianchen, Master of the Moon Lake, and Yuan Fei, the Supreme Saint of Heavenly Dipper. They felt that it would be difficult to survive under the 10 sacred sects purge, so they gathered the powerhouses of the island and formed an alliance. While increasing the risk, they also supported each other to avoid being easily crushed by the powerhouses of the 5 sacred sects. I remember that Zuo of the Tensha of Gojozian is ranked 29th on the Divine Dragon leaderboard. In addition, Yu Xianchen, Master of the Moon Lake, and Yuan Fei, the Supreme Saint of Heavenly Dipper, are ranked even higher on the Divine Dragon leaderboard. They are ranked 13th and 20th respectively. All three of them are at the Green Netherworld realm, right? Among them, Master of the Moon Lake is probably at the middle stage of the Green Netherworld realm. Yes. Dan Taiying nodded and said, Island Master, in fact, we plan to take advantage of the 5 Saint sects' joint attack to consolidate the overseas forces and even unify the overseas forces in the future. Many ambitious forces do the same. Currently, the 5 Saint sects are in a confrontation, concentrating on the Cold Snow Island. They are constantly accumulating their strength, and a war is about to break out. Of course, an all-out war won't happen, but because of the Cold Snow Island, the pressure on other forces has been eased a bit. They are taking advantage of this opportunity to swallow the surrounding forces and strengthen themselves. Celestial Master Island has been annexed by the Life League? That's right. It's said that he joined the Life Alliance and became a member of the Life Alliance, but in fact, it's no different from being annexed. Dan Taiying nodded, but soon her tone changed and she said, The Celestial Master Island joined our Dragon-Slaying Island because they saw that our Dragon-Slaying Island is stronger than them, but there's a limit to it. In this way, after the Celestial Master Island merges with them, they still have enough strength to maintain their independence. If they see that our Dragon-Slaying Island is unstable internally, they might even replace us. They didn't do this out of kindness. Hence, they can't blame us for being annexed by the Life League. Although the Celestial Master Island might have other plans when they joined us, they are still a force that wants to join our Dragon-Slaying Island. Moreover, they are the first force that has a spirit and chi uniting realm expert. The Life League annexed them just like that. Isn't it looking down on our Dragon-Slaying Island? Send someone to the Life League to question this matter. Dan Taiying couldn't help but be stunned when she heard that. Island Master, I'm afraid we'll offend the Life League completely if we do this. Although our Dragon-Slaying Island has been developing rapidly, we're still accumulating strength. If we rashly start a war with the Life League, I'm afraid. Xinghui glanced at Dan Taiying. She was only in the spirit refining realm, so her vision was naturally limited to the Dragon-Slaying Island. However, seeing that she could manage the Dragon-Slaying Island well, Xinghui didn't ask for much. A small Life League can't cause a ruckus. Since our Dragon-Slaying Island's goal is to unify the overseas region, if we can't even deal with a small Life League, how can we talk about grand plans? However, according to our investigation, there are 3 Green Netherworld realm experts in the Life League. As for the Spirit and Chi uniting realm, there are more than 50 of them. Their strength is far beyond our imagination. Before Dan Taiying could finish, he was interrupted by Xinghui. There's one thing that you might not know. Ling Yu, other than having the combat power of a Green Netherworld realm expert, she's also a rank 10 Son of Chaos. I believe you know what it means for a Son of Chaos to reach rank 10. Rank 10 Son of Chaos? Dan Taiying's eyes widened slightly. He couldn't help but scream, Divine Art. Yes, it's the Divine Art. Hiss. Dan Taiying immediately took in a breath of cold air. Ling Yu's combat power was already comparable to a Green Netherworld realm expert. If she had the Divine Art, she wouldn't be inferior to a Green Netherworld realm expert, right? Dragon-Slaying Island didn't only have a Green Netherworld realm expert, but this Green Netherworld realm expert was also comparable to a Green Netherworld realm expert? However, she soon realized an even more shocking problem. Ling Yu's combat power was comparable to a Green Netherworld realm expert, but she was subdued by the Island Master. How powerful was the Island Master's true strength? Dan Taiying felt his breath catch at the thought of this. At this moment, the wind and clouds in the void surged. The mighty heaven and earth primordial chi seemed to be funneled by a mysterious force. It continuously poured into a courtyard not far away from the city governor's mansion. Soon, a gigantic vortex with a diameter of more than 300 meters appeared in the void. More and more energy gathered from all directions, causing the vortex to grow larger. This is The sudden change made Sing Hui's heart skip a beat. He immediately looked toward the center of the vortex. Is that Lingyu's courtyard? Yes, it's Lord Lingyu. Tantaiyin nodded. Then, she looked at the huge primal chi vortex in the sky. A few months ago, Lady Lingyu went into seclusion and said that she planned to break through to the Green Nether Realm. Is she finally going to take that step? Get someone to guard the courtyard. Sing Hui flew toward Lingyu's courtyard as he spoke. He could feel the change in Lingyu's aura at a close distance. The Green Netherworld realm was also known as the Heaven Realm. It was a crucial realm for cultivators from the inside out. At this realm, the cultivators' every action and word would not only use their own strength, but also the heaven and earth primordial chi. Every attack would be accompanied by the heaven and earth primordial chi, and its power would be greatly increased compared to before. Sing Hui watched quietly as he focused on sensing the changes in Lingyu's body and the heaven and earth primordial chi. As Lingyu broke through the barrier of the Green Netherworld realm, he seemed to have formed a special connection with the heaven and earth primordial chi. The heaven and earth primordial chi was constantly transforming his body. This transformation was the foundation of the prominent divine realm. Once the transformation was complete, the cultivator would be able to use their own strength to manifest the souls of spirit beasts, saint beasts, and god beasts that had always existed in their spiritual world. From there, they would possess the strength of spirit beasts, saint beasts, and god beasts. This was the true essence of the prominent divine realm. Those who manifested the souls of spirit beasts, saint beasts, and god beasts would have their strength increase by countless times. Spirit beasts and saint beasts were slightly better, but god beasts could easily kill a Green Netherworld realm expert. Of course, manifesting the souls of god beasts was extremely taxing on one's physical body and true chi. The slightest carelessness would result in the collapse of one's physical body and true chi. Many people who cultivated divine-grade stellar energy would be stuck at this step and could only reach the prominent divine realm in the form of saint beast souls. The Green Netherworld realm. In truth, it's mainly the fusion of one's body and the heaven and earth primordial chi. Spirit beasts and saint beasts are favored by the heaven and earth primordial chi, and god beasts are said to be the manifestation of the heaven and earth primordial chi, representing a portion of the heaven and earth primordial chi's power. If one cannot fuse with the heaven and earth primordial chi and create a good foundation, no matter how powerful one's soul is, they will not be able to manifest and will never be able to reach the prominent divine realm. Sing Hui watched from the side and seemed to have understood something in his heart. The commotion caused by the heaven and earth whirlpool was extremely huge, and it naturally attracted the attention of countless people in Zhanlong City. Some of the cultivators who were vaguely trying to join Zhanlong Island naturally had a change in expression when they found out that a Green Netherworld realm expert had been born on Zhanlong Island. And those small forces who wanted to join Zhanlong Island were overjoyed. The unity of Zhanlong Island had also become unprecedentedly strong with the birth of this Green Netherworld realm expert. The origin chi whirlpool lasted for a moment before it gradually dissipated. As the last strand of origin chi was collected into the courtyard, the door of Lingyu's cultivation room also opened. Obviously, Lingyu had sensed that Sing Hui, Dan Taiying, Madame Zhuyu, Dan Tating, and the others from Zhanlong Island were outside. Congratulations, Lord, for your great improvement in cultivation. Haha, from today onwards, our Zhanlong Island will also be a top force with a Green Netherworld realm expert. With Lord's identity as a Green Netherworld realm expert, our Zhanlong Island will definitely jump into the top 20 of the overseas forces. Seeing Lingyu come out, Dan Taiying, Madame Zhuyu, Dan Tating, and the others quickly went forward with a joyful expression. Lingyu's gaze swept across Dan Taiying and the others with a trace of arrogance. With her status and potential, compared to the people in front of her, she was a level higher. Especially now that she had stepped into the Green Netherworld realm. Even if she wanted to join the 10 Great Sacred Sects, the 10 Great Sacred Sects would be more than happy to give her the position of an elder. Naturally, she had the confidence to look down on Zhanlong Island and the others. Not only Dan Taiying and the others, Even when her gaze swept across Tsinghui, there was a faint flicker in her eyes. It was obvious that some thoughts were beginning to stir in her heart. However, this flicker didn't last for long. Her eyes suddenly widened, and her face was filled with astonishment. Young Master, you actually broke through to the Spirit Chi Unity Realm. And your Chi aura is so nimble. Mid-Spirit Chi Unity Realm? Late Spirit Chi Unity Realm? Isn't it reasonable that you improved after a few months of seclusion? And I've been in seclusion for a few months to recover my cultivation. Tsinghui looked at the high-spirited Lingyu with a faint smile. Under his gaze, the smile in Lingyu's eyes suddenly became somewhat bitter. Although she had broken through to the green netherworld realm, Tsinghui could already defeat her when he was only at the peak of the spirit refining realm. Now that she had broken through to the green netherworld realm, Tsinghui had also broken through to the green netherworld realm, and it was obvious that he wasn't just at the early stage of the Spirit Chi Unity realm. She wanted to use the opportunity of breaking through to the green netherworld realm to break free from Tsinghui's control. It could only be wishful thinking. For a moment, even though Lingyu's heart was filled with unwillingness, she had to force a smile and congratulate Tsinghui. Congratulations, young master. Your cultivation has improved greatly. Same to you, same to you. Tsinghui replied with a faint smile. Chapter 186. Dan Taiying, Dan Tating, and the others did not understand the complicated relationship between Tsinghui and Lingyu. They did not even think much about Lingyu saying that Tsinghui had reached the spirit and Chi Unity realm. After all, they already thought that Tsinghui was an unfathomable expert who had fallen into this predicament due to a strange injury. However, Madame Zhuyu could more or less see the reason for Lingyu's forced smile. After consuming the spirit-dispersing pill, she was delighted to see Lingyu being suppressed by her master. Lingyu, so what if she broke through? In the end, she still couldn't fly out of her master's palm. Alright, you just broke through and need to consolidate it. Go back first. Dragon Beheading Island still needs you to oversee it. Yes. Lingyu's joy at breaking through to the blue darkness realm vanished when she learnt that Qingsu had reached the early stage of the realm of unity of God and Qi. Or perhaps even beyond that. She replied softly and returned to her cultivation room very quickly. Alright, disperse. Madame Zhuyu and Dan Tating, the two of you prepare to head to Shaoyangxi City with me tomorrow morning. It just so happens that I have something to deal with there. I'll be able to personally inquire about the Sage Island. Yes. Madame Zhuyu and Dan Tating both replied at the same time. As Tsinghui's main purpose was to trade with Venerable Zhu Zhao, he did not take the Dragon Beheading Island's warship. Instead, he took out his Sacred Winged Draconic Eagle and rode it. With the Sacred Winged Draconic Eagle's flying speed, it would only take 2 to 3 days to reach Shaoyangxi City. It was much faster than a warship. Greetings, Island Lord. As soon as Tsinghui arrived at Shaoyangxi City, a spirit refining expert personally came to welcome him. Dragon Beheading Island's 3rd Legion Centurion, Suan, reporting to you. Tsinghui calculated the time and realized that there were still 3 days before the trade that esteemed Master Zhu Zhao had set. He wasn't in a rush. Before the trade started, he planned to settle the matter of the Celestial Master Island once and for all. During this period of time, you've been in charge of guarding this place. Have you learned about the Life Alliance? Island Master, we've already investigated the Life League's information. Island Master, please take a rest in the courtyard we bought. We'll present it to you as soon as possible. Suan cupped his hands and said, All right. Tsinghui complied, and soon arrived at a large courtyard under Suan's guidance. Dragon Slaying Island was one of the largest islands in Shaoyangxi City during the Dragon Whale Island era. Although it wasn't ranked high, it was still easy for them to have their own courtyard in Shaoyangxi City. Island Lord, the conditions are simple and crude. We did not look for a new place to stay and have neglected Island Lord. Please forgive us. It's just a temporary residence. There's no need to be so particular. Suan let out a sigh of relief and quickly received a book of information from a true Qi realm guard. Island Lord, All the information about the Life League is here. Currently, there are 3 Qingming realm experts in the Life League. They are the Tensha of Gojoseon, Zuoxiao, the Moon Lake Lord, Yu Xianqian and Tiangang sage Yuan Fei. Other than these 5 Qingming realm experts, there are also 53 elders in the Spirit Qi Unity realm. As for the commanders, captains, soldiers, there are more than 10,000. More than 10,000, the Green Lotus Sword sect, which was at the bottom of the 10 sacred sects, probably did not have more than 10,000 spirit refining and true Qi realm cultivators. One had to admit that the number of awakening realm, true Qi realm, and spirit refining realm cultivators overseas was not ordinary. However, compared to the mainland, the true Qi realm and spirit refining realm cultivators overseas were often at a disadvantage. In order to pursue a higher realm, more than 90% of them only cultivated the most common true Qi and aura Qi. Those who could cultivate spirit-grade true Qi and aura Qi were already considered to be overflowing with talent, and would often be heavily nurtured by the forces behind them. The Life League's reputation is quite vast. Xing Hui said, the Life League's current position has already united 9 large islands with spirit and Qi uniting realm cultivators. As for the small and medium-sized islands, there are more than 100 of them. It is precisely because of this that they are able to have such a reputation. If we were to divide the top 10 overseas forces, the Life League would be one of them. If we were to talk about the forces within 50,000 kilometers of the mainland, the Life League would be one of the strongest. If it were not for the interference of the major forces near the mainland, the Life League could even unify the entire sea. I am curious. Although the Tensha of Gojoseon originally established Shaoyangxi City, strictly speaking, it is not much. Where did he get the courage to ally with the Moon Lake Master and the Tiangang Grand Sage to create such a huge situation? Does he have the support of someone behind him? Go and investigate properly. Yes, send me an invitation. Tomorrow, I will visit the Life League regarding the Sage Island. I understand. Xing Hui nodded. Just as he was about to say something, a true energy realm guard appeared outside the door. Island Master, there are elders of the Life League outside the door. They wish to see you. Oh, I was just about to look for them, but they came knocking on my door first? Xing Hui was slightly surprised when he heard this. However, when he thought about how Shaoyangxi City was considered the headquarters of the Life League, it was reasonable for them to come knocking on his door. Bring them to the living room to meet them. As Xing Hui spoke, he brought Madame Zhu Yu, Dan Tating, and the others to the living room. In the living room, the elders of the Life League had already brought 2 people to wait in the living room. Among the 2 people, Xing Hui saw a familiar face. Long Yufeng. He was the confidant of Guza, the former chairman of the Hiza Chamber of Commerce, and the current actual leader of the Hiza Chamber of Commerce. Of course, although Long Yufeng was in charge of the Hiza Chamber of Commerce, his influence was not on par with Guza's. In addition, the Life League had appeared out of nowhere, so he had to rely on the Life League to establish his authority and orthodoxy in the Hiza Chamber of Commerce. This must be the island master of the dragon-slaying island, Xing Hui, right? I've heard of Sir Xing Hui's name for a long time. You are indeed a heroic young man. Let me introduce myself. I am the 6th elder of the Life League, Hunyuan. 6th elder? Xing Hui had already browsed through the information about the Life League that Suan had sent over. The organization with the highest authority in the Life League was naturally the 3 Green Netherworld Realm experts, led by Zuoxiao, Yu Xianqian, and Yuan Fei. Below these 3 Green Netherworld Realm experts was the Elders' Council formed by 53 Unity of Spirit Realm experts. The elders in the Elders' Council were also divided into ranks. The stronger one's strength and influence, the higher one's ranking would be. Zuoxianyuan was ranked 6th in the Elders' Council. He was probably not only an expert in the late stage of Syncretic Spirit Realm, or even the peak of Syncretic Spirit Realm, but he also had a strong authority in his hands. Elder Zua, you came at the right time. I came to Shaoyangxi City because I have something to visit the Life League. If Elder Zua didn't come today, I would have handed him my visiting card. Zuoxianyuan was slightly stunned, but then he laughed. It seems that I came at the right time. Elder Zhua, you are a guest. Why don't you tell me what you are here for? Island Lord Xing Hui is straightforward. Then I won't beat around the bush. Zhua Xianyuan said with an unfathomable look. Island Lord Xing Hui should be paying attention to the 5 sacred sects sweeping of our islands, right? According to our preliminary statistics, in the past few months, a total of 169 islands were trampled on by the 5 sacred sections. More than 2,000 spirit refining realm experts were killed. Even the number of syncretic spirit realm experts that died has reached 14. In addition, 42 people were forcibly subdued by the 5 sacred sects and became their lackeys. They lost their freedom and were forced to follow the orders of the 5 sacred sections. Xing Hui was a little surprised. He had heard from Dan Taiying that the 5 sacred sects sweeping of the islands had caused the fall of more than 10 syncretic spirit realm experts. The number of islands trampled on was uncountable. He did not expect that there would be so many syncretic spirit realm experts that were subdued, but thinking about it, it made sense. True Qi and spirit refining realm cultivators were killed by the 5 sacred sections. However, the syncretic spirit realm experts were not something that spirit refining realm cultivators could compare to. As long as they were not on the wanted list of the 10 sacred sects, the 5 sacred sects might not kill them all. Even if they were taken in as fighters, they could still increase the strength of the sect. No wonder the Jin Wu religion and Green Lotus Sword sect joined the battle between the Limitless Sword sect, Hunyuan Heaven sect, and Create Evolve Mysterious sect. These 2 sects are not cooperating with the Limitless Sword sect and Hunyuan Heaven sect to fight against Create Evolve Mysterious sect. Their real goal is to subdue more syncretic spirit realm experts, right? Exactly. Zhua Xianyuan clapped his hands. Moreover, with the ambition of the Green Lotus Sword sect and the Jin Wu religion, they might not even put ordinary syncretic spirit realm experts in their eyes. Instead, they set their sights on late-stage syncretic spirit realm experts like us. And Xing Hui was startled. How did Zhua Xianyuan know that he had broken through to the late stage of syncretic spirit realm? However, when he saw Zhua Xianyuan carefully observing the changes in his expression, he thought of something. Zhua Xianyuan must have guessed that he had reached the late stage of syncretic spirit realm through the battle between him and the Dragon Whale Island Lord. Zhua Xianyuan deliberately mentioned this point because he wanted to judge whether his guess was true or false based on his reaction. He instinctively thought that he had just broken through to syncretic spirit realm not long ago. Obviously, Zhua Xianyuan had confirmed something. This point could be guessed from Zhua Xuanyuan's current expression. Thinking of this, Xing Hui shook his head. Then Elder Zhua's meaning is, join forces. Zhua Xianyuan seemed to have confirmed Xing Hui's true background. His words were a lot more casual. We must join forces. The 5 sacred sects have made it clear that they won't give us a chance to live. Even if we escape overseas and work with the ferocious beasts and sea beasts day in and day out, they still won't give up and want to kill us all. If we want to live, we can only join forces. Speaking of this, his eyes gradually became blazing. Currently, the Life Moon Alliance is led by Lord Tensha of Gojoseon. We also have the Moon Lake Master Yu Xianchen and the Heavenly Dipper Great Saint Yuan Fei, 2 Green Hell Realm experts. We have become one of the top forces overseas. If Island Lord Xing Hui is willing to bring your dragon-slaying island to join the Life Moon Alliance, the overseas cleanup teams of the 5 sacred sects won't be able to bully us easily anymore. Chapter 187. Join Forces. Xing Hui was astonished by Zhua Xuanyuan's words, even though he had a premonition. Then he laughed. He didn't expect the Life League to target Dragon-slaying Island. Seeing Xing Hui's playful smile, Zhua Xianyuan frowned slightly and said unhappily, Island owner Xing Hui, don't think that I'm exaggerating. Although the situation overseas seems to have calmed down, it's just the calm before the storm. The 5 saint sects are confronting each other on Cold Snow Island, so they don't have time to pay attention to overseas islands. Once the confrontation between the 5 saint sects is over, and they have time to spare, what awaits us will be a disaster. Joining forces is our only way to fight against them. Otherwise, Dragon-Slaying Island, which you've built with great difficulty, will be destroyed in this disaster. Reduced to ashes? Xing Hui shook his head and didn't continue on this topic. Instead, he asked, "What benefits will we get if we join the Life League?" Of course. Hunyuan perked up slightly. Master of Qingsu Island, our Life Moon Alliance can be considered one of the most powerful forces in the entire ocean. This is especially true in the coastal areas near the inland. We can be called the Overlord. We already have 21 Saint Realm Sea Beasts in our hands, 12 Saint Realm Sea Beasts that we can use immediately, and hundreds of Immortality Realm Sea Beasts. Coupled with the fact that we have many experts in our Life Moon Alliance, and 3 green Netherworld Realm Giants leading the teams, if the 5 sacred sects send ordinary teams to invade, we can easily beat them back. If they dare to send their great elders over, we'll attract many Saint Realm Sea Beasts, and make it impossible for them to return. In this way, we won't have to worry about our islands being trampled by the 5 sacred sects. From today onwards, you can safely develop without any worries. Simply put, after we join the Life League, the safety of Dragon-Slaying Island will be guaranteed by you. That's right. Then, what about the elite warriors of Dragon-Slaying Island? Of course, they're going to join our Life League's guard army, Hunyuan said without hesitation. A moment later, he seemed to be worried that this would cause Xing Hui to reject him. He quickly explained, "Don't worry, I'm not asking your Zhanlong Island to risk their lives. Currently, our Life League has tens of thousands of spirit refining and true qi cultivators. This is a force that no one dares to ignore. Even the 10 sacred sects are no exception. Even if your people join the guards, you don't have to worry about any danger. Moreover, I remember that your Zhanlong Island has 4 spirit qi unity realm cultivators, including you, Island Lord, right? One of them is enlightened being Yin Tao, who originally served the Dragon Whale Island Lord. The other one is Dan Tating, who recently made a breakthrough to the North Sea City Lord. The last one is an expert that you personally recruited. If you join our Life Moon Alliance, these people will be able to join the Elder Council of the Life Moon Alliance and become elders of the Life Moon Alliance. As for you, Island Lord, there's even hope for you to become one of the 10 great elders, and you'll have the authority to make decisions on major matters. Elders seems to know our Zhanlong Island's cultivators very well. Zhanlong Island has been developing very quickly during this period of time. It's really enviable. We yearn for it, so we can't help but know more about it. The elders of the Life Moon Alliance have the right to vote. The elders who are ranked in the top 10 have the right to make decisions, and the 3 alliance masters of the Green Underworld Realm have the right to veto. If my Zhanlong Island joins the Life Moon Alliance, we can only get one of the top 10 elders? Hunyuan frowned. Island Lord Xing Hui, aren't we both late-stage spirit qi unity realm cultivators like Xing Hui and I? Didn't we become the 6th elder in the end? Apart from the 9th elder, who is the trusted aide of the Moon Lake Lord, which of the top 10 elders aren't late-stage spirit qi unity realm cultivators? Now that Island Lord Xing Hui is listed as one of the top 10 Island Lords, there are actually people who are going to make concessions. From this point alone, we can already show our Life Moon Alliance's sincerity. No, there's one thing you might be wrong about. Since you know our Zhanlong Island so well, then you should know that although I'm in late-stage spirit qi unity realm, I'm completely different from ordinary late-stage spirit qi unity realm cultivators. As a late-stage spirit qi unity realm cultivator, it shouldn't be difficult for me to defeat one of the Green Underworld Realm cultivators of the Life Moon Alliance. Moreover, it's not just me. If you've been paying attention to Zhanlong Island's movements during this period of time, you should have already received the news that a newly recruited expert of Zhanlong Island just happened to break through to the Green Underworld Realm not long ago. According to your Life Moon Alliance's system, if Zhanlong Island really wants to join the Life Moon Alliance, we have to take 2 Alliance Master seats. Green Underworld Realm? Hunyuan looked at Xing Hui and was stunned. Then, he seemed to have thought of something and his face suddenly changed. It's rumored that you've cultivated holy grade Gang Qi. Could it be true? Xinghui glanced at Hunyuan, and his expression didn't change. If you don't believe me, you can ask one of the Alliance Master to try. Hunyuan heard the strong confidence in Xinghui's tone, and his forehead was immediately covered in cold sweat. The Zhanlong Island's strength was actually to such an extent. They had seriously underestimated the Zhanlong Island's strength. With such a sudden change in the situation, it wasn't something that an elder like him could easily make a decision. He immediately said, "Island Lord Xinghui, I didn't expect you to have such a cultivation. I'm really surprised. I'll go and report to the other Alliance Masters. I believe they'll give an order very soon to discuss with Island Lord Xinghui personally." Okay. Xinghui nodded slightly. Besides, I heard that the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island recently annexed the Celestial Master Island. The Celestial Master Island originally surrendered to the Zhanlong Island, but they were intercepted by the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island halfway. The Alliance Master Zhanlong Island didn't do it justice. But it doesn't matter. If the Zhanlong Island joins the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island, we'll be a family from now on. The Zhanlong Island naturally won't pursue this small matter. In other words, if the Zhanlong Island didn't join the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island, this matter was probably the reason for the conflict between the Zhanlong Island and the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island in the future. Hunyuan heard the hidden threat in Xinghui's words. Although he was a little angry, he didn't dare to go overboard in front of the Island Lord, who was very likely to have the battle strength of the Green Underworld realm. Island Lord Xinghui, you're right. I'll mention this matter to the other Alliance Masters. I believe they'll give you a satisfactory answer soon. The Alliance Masters are still waiting for my news, so I'll take my leave first. Go ahead. Xinghui made a gesture to send him off. Dan Tating stepped forward and sent Hunyuan off. After Hunyuan left, Madame Zhuyu stepped forward and said, "Island Lord, I don't think the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island is willing to give up the two Deputy Alliance Masters. According to my understanding, although Wuxiao of the Tenshao of Gojoseon, Yu Xianchen of the Moon Lake, and Yuan Fei of the Heavenly Dipper Great Saint have joined forces, they have their own interests and aren't completely united. However, if we get involved and monopolize the two Deputy Alliance Masters, I'm afraid the balance between the three of them will be broken. At that time, either the Zhanlong Island will become stronger, or the three of them will be forced to join forces to fight against the Zhanlong Island. Don't worry, the unexpected strength of the Zhanlong Island has already caused problems in their plan. They won't allow the Zhanlong Island, which is difficult to control, to join the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island. Excluding us is their only choice. Then, is the Zhanlong Island really going to go to war with the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island? The Alliance Master Zhanlong Island has more than 50 spirit and chi uniting realm experts, and tens of thousands of spirit refining and true chi realm cultivators. If the Zhanlong Island really goes to war with them, I'm afraid we won't be able to withstand a single blow. You're thinking too much. The Alliance Master Zhanlong Island has only been established for 2 months. Although the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island is powerful, how many people are loyal to the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island? Although the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island has a lot of spirit and chi uniting realm experts, that's because of the pressure from the 5 sacred sects. They have no choice but to stick together. As long as we can defeat the leaders of the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island and show them more strength than the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island, I think they won't mind changing sides. Madame Zhuyu nodded in agreement. Lord Ling Yu has already broken through to the Green Underworld realm, and she's also a rank 10 Son of Chaos. With the power of the sacred technique, it won't be difficult for her to defeat the 3 Alliance Masters of the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island. Moreover, we have an even more powerful Island Master on our side. Defeating the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island is indeed foolproof. Once we defeat the higher-ups of the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island, we'll have the power of the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island in our hands. The strength and influence of the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island will soar by dozens of times. That's right. Xinghui nodded. The only thing I'm worried about now is whether the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island is secretly supported by someone. If this supporter is from one of the 5 sacred sects, it'll be fine. But if this supporter is from the 5 sacred sects, and their goal is to gather all of us spirit and chi uniting realm experts, then it'll be troublesome. Once we annex the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island, we'll become the next target of that top force. But if we wait for a while before attacking the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island, once the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island has finished reorganizing, we won't be able to bear the losses. This, Madame Zhu didn't know how to respond to Tsing Hui's words. At this moment, Dan Tating returned to the living room after sending Hunyuan away. Tsing Hui immediately asked, "Is there a branch of the Divination Pavilion in Shaoyangxi City?" "This, I don't know." Tsing Hui waved his hand. "The two of you go out and investigate carefully. See if you can find out who's behind the Alliance Master Zhanlong Island. I'll go ask the people of the Divination Pavilion about his whereabouts." After saying that, he separated a part of his spirit into the Chaos Temple. Then, according to the incantation that Tianwen had given him, he stepped into the personal space of a son of chaos in the Divination Pavilion's branch. Chapter 188. There seemed to be someone permanently stationed in the Class 3 personal space of a certain important figure in the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. Seeing Tsing Hui arrive, a young man in charge of guarding the personal space raised his head to glance at Tsing Hui and carefully sensed. "So it's senior brother Tianwen's technique. Do you want to buy or sell information? Do you want to continue trading with senior brother Tianwen?" "I want to buy information. Is Sir Tianwen here?" "Sir Tianwen is currently in the chaos space." "Sir, please wait in room 39. Senior brother Tianwen will be there immediately." The young man handed a jade tablet to Tsing Hui. "Sir, crush the jade tablet to enter room 39. Tsing Hui nodded and crushed the jade tablet. Soon, his surroundings changed, and he appeared in a small conference room no more than 30 square meters in size. The layout of the conference room was no different from the outside world, but it wasn't difficult to see that the decorator had put in a lot of effort to make the room look pleasing to the eye. "I'm sorry to keep Sir Pak Hui waiting." Not long after Tsing Hui looked around the small conference room, Tianwen's figure appeared in the room. "Sir Pak Hui, please sit." Tsing Hui nodded and didn't beat around the bush. He went straight to the point. "Sir Tianwen, you should know about the 5 Great Sects joint sweep of the overseas territories, right?" "Sir Pak Hui, is the question you want to ask related to the overseas situation?" "Yes. I'm the person in charge of the Hunyuan Heaven Sects area of jurisdiction, and I have a good understanding of the Hunyuan Heaven Sects area of jurisdiction. I've even heard of matters close to the Hunyuan Heaven Sects area of jurisdiction. However, I'm not in charge of the overseas territories." "Sir Pak Hui, please wait a moment. I'll immediately invite the person in charge of the overseas territories to discuss with you. Please rest assured that everyone in the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion has good professionalism and will definitely give you satisfactory information." Oh, when Qing Su heard that, he nodded in understanding. Soon, a man in his 30s appeared in front of Tsing Hui. "Sir Pak Hui, hello. I'm Hai Qing, the person in charge of the overseas territories. I'm very happy to be of service to Sir Pak Hui. Is there a fixed price for overseas materials?" "That will depend on how detailed Miss Pak Hui wants the information. If it's about the general movements of the 5 sacred sects, 1 Tao rhythm will suffice. If it's about the movements of every spirit and chi uniting expert, the price will range from 2 to 10 Tao rhythms. If it's about the real interests of the 5 sacred sects in the sea, depending on the sects, the price will be more than 10 Tao rhythms. Moreover, I'm afraid that our Divination Pavilion won't be able to give you the detailed information immediately. Shaoyangxi City recently established a life league. I'm sure the Heaven's Secret Pavilion must have heard of this news. I'm guessing that there's someone behind the Heaven's Secret Pavilion. I need you to give me accurate information. Alright, if you need more detailed information, I'll need 3 Tao rhymes." 3 Tao rhymes, Tsing Hui frowned. This price was not low, and from this price, he was sure that the 10 sacred sects were involved in this matter. Give me detailed information. All right, Your Excellency. You'll be able to read the information after signing this simple agreement. All you need to do is to provide the Dao-carrying item within a month. You can also set the location of the transaction. Sure. Xing Hui nodded slightly. Very soon, Hai Qing applied for detailed information on the Life Alliance and handed it to Qing Su after sorting it out. I hope you'll be satisfied with the information. Xing Hui nodded and began reading. After a while, his expression changed slightly. It's the Green Lotus Sword sect. No wonder. The Jinwu religion has a good relationship with the Hunyuan Heaven sect, and they've always been on the same side as the Wuji Sword sect. I'm not surprised that they're involved in the battle, but the Green Lotus Sword sect is ranked last among the 10 sacred sections. For them to rashly intervene in such a large-scale battle, it's as if they're breaking their own arms. Now that I've received this information, it makes sense. Your Excellency Pak Hui, do you need information about the distribution of the Green Lotus Sword sect's experts overseas? If it's just information, we can charge you 1 Dao rhyme. Hai Qing was very good at doing business, and she seized the opportunity to promote her information. 1 Dao rhyme was not too much. However, information about the Green Lotus Sword sect overseas is not worth this price. 1 Dao rhyme. Not only do I need information about the Green Lotus Sword sect overseas, but I also need information about the entire sect. This, Hai Qing hesitated for a moment, but still said, I can give you the preliminary information about the Green Lotus Sword sect. As for the detailed information, I can't package it in this Dao rhyme and sell it to Your Excellency Pak Hui. Moreover, the so-called preliminary information of the Divine Secrets Pavilion would take ordinary people decades to find out. All right. 2 transactions, a total of 4 Dao rhymes. Your Excellency Pak Hui is very straightforward. Hai Qing smiled and quickly applied to the higher-ups. Not long after, another scroll appeared in his hand. This is the information about the headquarters of the Green Lotus Sword sect and their overseas dispatch. Xing Hui took Hai Qing's report and flipped through it. The Green Lotus Sword sect was at the bottom of the 10 sacred sects. If the third-tier Dharma Gate, Green Lotus Sword sect, Jinwu religion, and Giant Dragon Mountain range were ranked in detail, the Jinwu religion, which had a large amount of eternal blazing sun as a strategic reserve, would undoubtedly be ranked first. The second was the Giant Dragon Mountain range, which had tamed several saint-level savage beasts. As for the Dharma Gate and the Green Lotus Sword sect, they were about the same. Strictly speaking, the Green Lotus Sword sect was slightly stronger, but the strength of the Green Lotus Sword sect was built on the divine sword of the Green Lotus Sword sect, the Green Lotus Divine Sword. This extremely spiritual level 10 divine weapon was the key to the strength of the Green Lotus Sword sect. It was a pity that the Green Lotus Sword sect had not produced a sword master for more than 60 years. No one could use the Green Lotus Divine Sword, so it could not be taken away for battle. It could only be used to protect the sect. In this way, if the experts who went out for battle were counted, the Green Lotus Sword sect was not as good as the Dharma sect. According to the information given by the Pavilion of Divination, there were only 6 Supreme Elders left in the Green Lotus Sword sect. Including the sect leader, there were only 7 Supreme Elders of the Green Lotus Sword sect. Fortunately, the first Supreme Elder of the Green Lotus Sword sect, Shin Qin, not only had the strength of the Supreme Elder of the Green Lotus Sword sect, but also had the strength of the Supreme Elder of the Green Lotus Sword sect. She had accumulated the chaotic level to the 10th level through the Dao-carrying objects that the Green Lotus Sword sect had tried to collect. She also had the divine technique. Otherwise, even with the 10th level Divine Sword sect as a divine weapon, the Green Lotus Sword sect would not be able to maintain its position as one of the 10 great sacred sects. This time, the Supreme Elder of the Green Lotus Sword sect, who was in charge of the overseas sweep, was Shuaguang, who was ranked 4th. Accompanying him was the deputy sect leader of the Green Lotus Sword sect, Wen Hui. The Life League was established with the support of the deputy sect leader of the Green Lotus Sword sect. It was specifically used to recruit experts of the Unity of Spirit realm from overseas. to make up for the lack of experts in the Green Lotus Sword sect. Wen Hui, the deputy sect leader of the Green Lotus Sword sect, an expert at the peak of the Green Netherworld realm. It is said that he has cultivated divine-grade Gangqi. He is the most promising person in the Green Lotus Sword sect besides the saintess Yinyu to become the successor of the Green Lotus Sword sect. Xing Hui muttered to himself. This Wen Hui, he was indeed a formidable enemy. If the matter of the Life League was not handled properly, it would attract the attention of the Green Lotus Sword sect's fourth supreme elder, Shuaguang. At that time it would be troublesome. However, Shaoyangxi City was geographically close to the Hunyuan Heaven sect. Once he could shatter the claws of Shuaguang, Wen Hui, and the others, it would be difficult for the Green Lotus Sword sect to organize a new group of experts to attack Shaoyangxi City. A force on the level of the 10 great sacred sects. Then let's have a good fight, and see whose methods are more brilliant. After obtaining satisfactory clues, Xing Hui did not stay here for long. Otherwise, who knew what kind of information he would be tempted by the people of Heaven's Inquisition to buy? He did not have many Taoist rhymes. He had obtained 48 Taoist rhymes from Dawn, and together with the 36 Taoist rhymes from Xuanwu and Ling Yu's personal collection, he had a total of 82 Taoist rhymes. However, after going to the Refining God Pavilion and paying Master Cangzhen's debt, he had reduced his total to 57 Taoist rhymes. If he used 4 more, he would only have 53 Taoist rhymes left. He had planned to use 53 Taoist rhymes in the Refining God Pavilion once, and the remaining 33 Taoist rhymes were reserved in case he needed to use them in an emergency. Therefore, before he obtained new Taoist rhymes, these Taoist rhymes would be depleted. The Creation Mystical Sect, the Wuji Sword Sect, the Hunyuan Heaven Sect, the Jinwu Religion, and the Green Lotus Sword Sect are in a confrontation and have not yet started fighting. Therefore, the Green Lotus Sword Sect has other plans. In that case, I'll think of a way to make them fight. Xing Hui pondered. It seemed that after the deal with Master Zhu Zhao was over, he still had to go to Cold Snow Island and make the 5 sacred sects fight. In this way, if something happened to the Life Alliance in Shaoyangxi City, the Green Lotus Sword sect would not have time to be distracted. After coming to a decision, Xing Hui waited patiently. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye. During these 2 days, the Life Alliance did not give any other response to Xing Hui's request. Obviously, they were still confirming whether the news of the Green Netherworld Realm expert on Dragon-Slaying Island was true or not. Xing Hui did not force them. He went directly to a small island that was only 40 kilometers away from Shaoyangxi City. This was the final location of the deal. When Xing Hui appeared on the island in a black robe that covered his body, there were already many people waiting there. Xing Hui looked over and saw a total of 22 people. 22 people each took a direction, their faces full of vigilance. The strength of their auras were different. Xing Hui sensed carefully and realized that he, an expert at the late stage of the Divine Qi realm, was the strongest among the 22 cultivators. Even though 4 of the 22 cultivators were at the Divine Qi realm, their genuine Qi was not as strong as his. This could be seen from the way everyone looked at him with alert. Thinking of the deal with Sword Master Bai Heng in the Yinhuang mountain range, Xing Hui was speechless. Unknowingly, he had grown to the level of an expert at the giant level in the eyes of ordinary people. Buzz! As the vital qi of the heaven and earth changed violently, a mighty pressure formed in the void. Feeling the horrifying pressure that was about to form, there was a commotion in the crowd. This doesn't seem to be an ordinary doppelganger. This pressure, even if he is deliberately controlling his own energy fluctuation, I'm afraid he has reached the Divine Qi realm, right? It might even be the doppelganger of a Green Netherworld realm expert. It's said that the person who came to trade is a giant in the Sky Dome Empire. He is at least an almighty, who has cultivated the Divine Qi realm. For such an almighty to condense the doppelganger of a Divine Qi realm expert, it wouldn't be difficult for him to crush an immortal stage 6 expert. Could it be that something unexpected has happened? Impossible. The Sky Dome Empire wouldn't joke about its reputation. It seems like this big shot has something to do and needs to stay in the eastern wilderness temporarily. That's why he sent a slightly stronger doppelganger. All kinds of surprised discussions were heard from the crowd. However, no one turned around and left after sensing that the atmosphere was not right. After all, the Sky Dome Empire's reputation was here. They naturally didn't think that the big shot in the Sky Dome Empire would destroy his reputation for the dozens of Taoist rhymes that they had. If he really did that, the Sword Master would not let him off easily in order to protect the Sky Dome Empire's reputation. Chapter 189. As the powerful energy wave gradually subsided, a figure appeared in the center of the primordial qi. It was one of the 4 founders of Heaven's Dome Empire, esteemed Zhu Zhao. Of course, other than Xing Hui, who was a member of Heaven's Dome Empire. The others did not know the true identity of esteemed Zhu Zhao. They only knew that he was a big shot from Heaven's Dome Empire. It was just like how Ling Yu and the others knew that Sword Master Bai Heng's cultivation was shocking. However, they did not know which force he belonged to, or what position he held in that force. After esteemed Zhu Zhao revealed himself, Xing Hui vaguely felt that he looked in his direction. However, he did not think too much about it. As one of the 4 founders of Heaven's Dome Empire, and a dominator who had been famous for thousands of years, esteemed Zhu Zhao's status was much higher than his. Logically speaking, there should not be any interaction between them. The rest of the transaction was calm and peaceful. After the people in front of him got the skills they were satisfied with, they left happily. Before long, it was Xing Hui's turn. Disciple of Heaven's Dome, Pak Hui, greets esteemed Zhu Zhao. Xing Hui stepped forward and bowed slightly. Esteemed Zhu Zhao nodded at Xing Hui. Pak Hui, I heard esteemed Zhangzhen mention you before. Xing Hui was slightly stunned. He did not expect esteemed Zhangzhen to mention his name in front of esteemed Zhu Zhao. Esteemed Zhangzhen, thank you for your kindness. What do you want to trade? I want to make up for the Taoist rhymes that I owe esteemed Zhangzhen. At the same time, I want to apply for a token to temper my mind in the God Refining Pavilion. Sure. Hand over the item that carries the Taoist rhymes. When you return to Heaven's Dome realm, I'll ask someone to send the token to you. Thank you, esteemed Zhu Zhao. Xing Hui pondered for a while. In order to avoid needing to use Taoist rhymes and contribution points in the future, he said, I'm willing to give you another item that carries the Taoist rhymes in exchange for 2,000 contribution points. Sure. Esteemed Zhu Zhao nodded. If I'm not wrong, you have the aura of the Torch Dragon bloodline. Have you awakened the Torch Dragon bloodline? Esteemed Master, you have sharp eyes. Xing Hui agreed. Like Venerable Master, I have awakened the Torch Dragon bloodline. In the Divine Refining Pavilion, I used Venerable Master's light condensing sword to sharpen my mind, causing my Torch Dragon Divine Soul to become more condensed. The Torch Dragon bloodline. Exalted Zhu Zhao seemed to have thought of something. It's not easy to cultivate the Torch Dragon bloodline. This kind of divine beast is different from the Golden Crow, Kuanpeng, Qilin, and so on. It has long been extinct. There hasn't been any information about the Torch Dragon in the world for countless years. At present, some of the Torch Dragon blood essence, Torch Dragon core, and Torch Dragon eyes that occasionally circulate on the market are all obtained from the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. Apart from the Chaos Treasure Pavilion, there are no other channels to obtain things related to the Torch Dragon bloodline. Xing Hui nodded in agreement. Compared to the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, he obtained the Illuminating Sun scripture earlier. Moreover, the Illuminating Sun scripture that he obtained was different from the intermittent Great Sun Golden Crow technique. He had the Illuminating Sun scripture that could be cultivated directly to the 6th level of the longevity realm. However, after a few years, he had already cultivated the Great Sun Golden Crow technique to the 4th level. He had even reached the later stage of the Spirit and Qi uniting realm. However, the Torch Sun scripture, even though he had deliberately cultivated it, and even used many treasures, he had yet to complete the 3rd level. There was an entire realm difference between the two. The main reason for this was that there were many cultivation resources related to the Golden Crow bloodline, such as the Great Sun Essence, the great sun core, the fire spiritual crystal, and even the divine beast, the golden crow itself. However, what about the torch dragon? Even if one were to use the great sun essence and fire spirit crystal to cultivate for its great sun true God attribute, the effect would still be very slow. In terms of the great sun true God attribute, the cultivation efficiency of the great sun golden crow technique was 3 to 5 times that of the torch sun scripture with the same amount of resources. In fact, when I cultivated the torch dragon bloodline back then, I discovered a strange problem. The torch dragon bloodline contains a mysterious power. This power seems to be related to influencing other people's thoughts and even interfering with time and space. However, it seems that I can't really dig out this mysterious power with just the torch dragon bloodline or techniques related to the torch dragon bloodline. If I want to really understand the secret of this mysterious power, I seem to have to cooperate with another divine beast bloodline. Exalted Zhu Zhao said. Hearing Exalted Zhu Zhao mention this, Xing Hui suddenly thought of another characteristic of the torch dragon, the space-time master. Could it be that the space-time master was the true evolution direction of the torch dragon bloodline? Currently, because he had comprehended the sword intent left behind by Exalted Zhu Zhao in the light condensation sword, his sword intent had mutated and produced a mysterious power that could stop people's thoughts. Could this power be the predecessor of the space-time power? Thinking of this, Xing Hui could not wait to ask, "May I know what bloodline it is?" Nether Glow. Extreme Nether Glow. This was one of the 18 divine beasts that was more mysterious than the torch dragon. If the torch dragon bloodline was traceable and could prove that it existed in ancient times, then the Nether Glow was close to a myth. Xing Hui's heart skipped a beat as he suddenly asked, "Does the Chaos Treasure Pavilion sell anything related to the Nether Glow?" Exalted Zhu Zhao shook his head slightly. "If the Chaos Treasure Pavilion can obtain these things, then it'll be easy. So far, I haven't heard of any force buying anything related to the Nether Glow from the Chaos Treasure Pavilion. This is also the reason why people gradually recognized the Nether Glow as a myth. In fact, among the 18 divine beasts that have been passed down since ancient times, including the Nether Glow, 6 of them have become legends. Among the 6, 2 are divine beast bloodlines and 4 are spiritual objects of heaven and earth. Currently, there are only 12 bloodlines that can be traced. Among the 12 bloodlines, there are 6 rare bloodlines, such as the Torch Dragon and the 5-colored Stone Spirit. As a result, only a few divine beasts are known to people, such as the Golden Crow, the Kuan-Pung, and the Qilin. Speaking of this, he paused for a moment before continuing. Perhaps only when the chaos level rises to a higher level and opens a higher level Chaos Treasure Pavilion will we be able to purchase these precious treasures. The Chaos Treasure Pavilion has a higher level Chaos Treasure Pavilion? Xing Hui was stunned. An ordinary Chaos Treasure Pavilion would consume 1 Taoist rhyme a day. If it was a higher level Chaos Treasure Pavilion, how much Taoist rhyme would be consumed every day? Who knows? At least the items sold in the Chaos Treasure Pavilion are limited to the divine realm. But according to our calculations, the upper limit of a spiritual beast's growth is the saint realm, and the upper limit of a holy beast's growth is the divine realm. Since there are still divine beasts in the world, then the upper limit of a divine beast's growth must be above the divine realm. I guess it's the realm of the founder of the Chaos Temple. At this point, exalted being Zhu Zhao seemed to realize that he had gone off topic. He immediately smiled and said, "It's still too early for you and even for me. You should focus on your cultivation now. Since both of us are members of the Celestial Dome Empire and have awakened the Torch Dragon bloodline, I have a small technique for refining true energy. It'll help you better control your true energy and even help you reach the transcendent state in the future. Take it as a gift for our first meeting." "Thank you, exalted being Zhu Zhao." Xing Hui thanked him sincerely. "Focus," exalted being Zhu Zhao said. In the next moment, he had already placed a finger between Xing Hui's eyebrows. Then, a stream of information appeared in Xing Hui's mind. It was a technique for refining true energy. If you want to strengthen your true energy, You can't avoid the characteristic of practice. This true energy refining method is the same. I've named it the true energy void technique. However, this true energy refining method consumes a lot of true energy. You'd better supplement it with elixirs that can restore your true energy. Otherwise, you can increase your true energy recovery speed in the future. I understand. Xinghui nodded. When a normal cultivator's true energy was severely depleted, not only would they appear weak, but they would also need to consume large amounts of meat to replenish their essence qi. Then they would refine their essence qi into true energy. However, the recovery characteristic was different. In other words, none of the characteristics produced by the Chaos Temple seemed to be logical. Take the recovery characteristic for example. It did not require the cultivator to consume additional heavenly materials and earthly treasures or meat. It could replenish the loss of qi, blood, and spiritual energy out of nothing. At present, Xinghui's recovery characteristic had reached the 5th level. If it were not for the fact that he cultivated divine-grade true energy, even if he exhausted all his true energy, he would be able to completely recover in 2 hours. That's it. Only when you excavate your true energy to the extreme can you have hope of reaching the way of the celestial being. The human body itself is a small world. If you don't study your own small world thoroughly, how can you use the small world as a foundation to trigger the resonance of the big world and step into the unity of heaven and man realm? Work hard. Thank you for your guidance, exalted being Zhu Zhao. Exalted being Zhu Zhao smiled slightly. After completing the transaction with the many sons of chaos present, he did not waste any time and directly turned to leave. Seeing that exalted being Zhu Zhao had left, Xinghui wanted to go up and ask him for some pointers regarding the cultivation of the Torch Sun Sutra. However, after pondering for a moment, he stopped in his tracks. It was already good enough that exalted being Zhu Zhao was willing to teach him the true energy void transformation technique for free. If he were to ask him for pointers, he would be asking for a yard after taking an inch. The Torch Dragon bloodline. Xinghui thought about the 2,000 contribution points that he had just exchanged for. It was time for him to spend some contribution points in the library in the Sky Dome Pavilion to read through the cultivation experiences of the predecessors. Although there were very few people in this world who cultivated the Torch Dragon bloodline, it did not mean that there were none. As for those with the Golden Crow bloodline, there were even more of them. Sharpening the axe would not delay the work of cutting firewood. Reading through the cultivation experiences would naturally be of great help to his future cultivation. In that case, I'll have to solve the problem of the Life Alliance as soon as possible. Although the Life Alliance is backed by the Green Lotus Sword sect, the people from the Green Lotus Sword sect definitely won't dare to openly attack the overseas forces without the help of the Life Alliance. Otherwise, who knows when they'll be lured to the residence of a sea overlord and become his food. Xinghui had already returned to Shaoyangxi City while he was thinking about this. After arriving at Shaoyangxi City, he rested for a while and directly ordered Madame Zhu Yu to send a message to Ling Yu and ask her to come to the Life Alliance as soon as possible. Since the Life Alliance was dragging this matter out and was unwilling to give a response, he would take the initiative to bring people to them. Chapter 190. Lady Ling Yu, the island master has ordered you to go to Shaoyangxi City. In the living room of Ling Yu's courtyard, Dan Taiying cautiously said to Ling Yu. Although she was the manager of Zhanlong City in name, she had yet to break through to the Spirit Qi Unification realm. In front of Ling Yu, a spirit refining realm cultivator, she did not have much confidence. I understand. Thank you City Lord Dan Tai for making this trip. I will pack up and go to Shaoyangxi City. Ling Yu said with a frown. However, I don't have a flying sword with me. The sacred winged golden rock has been taken away by the island master. If I want to go to Shaoyangxi City, I'm afraid I'll have to take a battleship. Don't worry, lady. The battleship has been prepared. We can leave at any time once lady is ready. Good, please wait a moment. Ling Yu went into her room and packed up in less than half an hour. She returned to Dan Taiying and followed Dan Taiying to the port. At the port, a battleship was ready to go. With Ling Yu's arrival, the battleship slowly rose into the air. As the battleship took off, Ling Yu, who was on the battleship, suddenly sensed something and looked in the direction of the spaceport. Over there was a commercial battleship slowly docked at Zhonglong City's airport. Ling Yu followed her heart and looked over. She saw an old man with a sage-like aura looking at her with a smile that was not a smile. With just a glance, Ling Yu felt her mind go blank. Her thoughts seemed to have stagnated. However, when she came back to her senses and looked at the deck of the battleship, although there were many people walking around, the old man was nowhere to be seen. It was as if the scene she had just witnessed was merely a momentary trance, and nothing had happened. Ling Yu frowned after a while. She asked the guard, "Who does that battleship belong to?" "Lady, that is the Four Seas Merchant Guild's battleship." The Four Seas Merchant Guild is a large merchant guild in Shaoyangxi City. They have many business dealings with Zhonglong Island. Four Seas Merchant Guild. Ling Yu looked at the battleship again, but there was nothing wrong with it. She didn't think there was anyone in the eastern wilderness who could make her stop thinking with just a look. So she quickly threw this matter to the back of her mind, thinking it was just an illusion. 4 days later, the Dragon-Slaying Island's battleship appeared in Shaoyangxi City. At this moment, the Life League had confirmed that there was indeed a Qingming realm expert on Dragon-Slaying Island. They had also received news that this Qingming realm expert was rushing over on a warship. Thus, when Ling Yu arrived at Shaoyangxi City, the atmosphere of the entire city became tense. More than half of the elders who were originally stationed outside were summoned back. Many spirit refining and true Qi realm guards were patrolling the city, protecting the safety of the city. "Young master." In Xinghui's courtyard, Ling Yu bowed respectfully. Although she might have other thoughts in her mind, she was a very sensible person. Before she had enough strength to resist, she would not show any unnecessary attitude. "Time is tight. Have you consolidated your Green Hell realm yet?" "It's almost done. Young master, please give me your orders." Ling Yu recalled the information she read on the way here. "Are we going to make a move on the Life League?" Although there are 3 Qingming realm experts in the Life League, the strongest of the 3, Yu Xianqian, is only at the middle stage of the Qingming realm. Moreover, she has only awakened the bloodline of a spirit beast. If young master gives the order, I can use my divine technique to kill all 3 of them. This is why I called you here. Let's go. As Qing Su said that, he directly headed towards the Life Alliance with Ling Yu just like that. Shaoyangxi City was Zuozhao's territory. When Xinghui and Ling Yu moved, Zuozhao immediately sensed it. When they arrived at the Life League's headquarters, an old man in his 40s was already waiting for them at the entrance. When the old man saw the 2 of them, he walked up to them and gestured with a smile. "Island Master Qing Su, Lady Ling Yu. I am the 4th elder of the Life Moon Alliance, Guqing. The 3 alliance masters of the Life Moon Alliance have been waiting for you after learning that you've come to visit. Let's go in." Xinghui's gaze did not linger on the old man, and brought Ling Yu into the Life League. He did not care whether the Life League was a tiger's den or a dragon's den. When 4th Elder Guqing saw this, a cold smile appeared on his face. Under Guqing's lead, the group quickly walked to the guest hall. However, along the way, countless spirit refining realm guards formed a battle formation and sized Qing Su and Ling Yu up with a trace of hostility in their eyes. When the 2 of them arrived at the guest hall under Guqing's lead, the 52 spirit and Qi Unity realm experts, who were already prepared and gathered in the guest hall, looked at Qing Su at the same time. Each of their eyes contained an indescribable pressure. Even though it was impossible for any of these divine energy unity experts to be a match for a green netherworld realm expert in a one-on-one battle, there were over 50 of them. Many of them were at the late stage and peak stage of the divine energy unity realm. If there was someone to coordinate and form a battle formation, this force would be able to easily kill a cultivator who had just entered the green netherworld realm. This is an initial show of strength. Ling Yu glanced at the elders of the Life League, and a trace of indifference flashed across her face. If they knew that she was a rank 10 son of chaos, and Xinghui was a son of chaos whose battle prowess was not inferior to a Qingming realm late-stage son of chaos, She wondered if they would laugh at her actions today. Ge Qing brought Xing Hui and Ling Yu to the guest hall. He did not say anything, and did not even arrange a seat for them. He just returned to his seat, and joined the other spirit and Qi Unity Realm experts. He sneered at Xing Hui and Ling Yu, waiting to see how they would deal with this situation. Alliance leaders Wuxia of the Life League? Since you have shown us your strength, it seems like today's matter can't be settled peacefully. In that case, Dragon-Slaying Island won't waste any more words with the Life Alliance. The Celestial Master Island originally intended to rely on Dragon-Slaying Island. However, they were intercepted by the Life Alliance halfway, and were forcefully annexed by the Life Alliance. Such actions are simply disregarding Dragon-Slaying Island. Now if you release the people from the Celestial Master Island and compensate Dragon-Slaying Island, Dragon-Slaying Island can still leave directly and mind our own business with the Life Alliance. Otherwise, in order to protect the dignity of Dragon-Slaying Island, even if the Life Alliance is a huge force, Dragon-Slaying Island will still challenge the Life Alliance according to the overseas rules. Xing Hui said calmly. Island leader Xing Hui, is it? When Zhuo Xiao saw how straightforward Qing Su was, he was unwilling to play along with him, because he had so many powerful experts on his side. Your talent is impressive, and you've even cultivated Saint-grade Aura Qi. You can be described as having a limitless future ahead of you. But you still don't have the right to speak overseas right now. Let's not even talk about whether the Celestial Master Island is willing to join our Life Moon Alliance. Even if they aren't, do we have to report our actions to your Dragon-Slaying Island? Do you really think that you can look down on everyone in the world, just because you have a green netherworld realm expert on your island? As your elder who has lived overseas for a long time, I have to remind you, young man, don't be too impulsive. You have to lower your head when it's time to do so. There are many people in this world that you can't afford to offend. If you fight recklessly, you won't even know how you die when the time comes. Xing Hui shook his head when he heard that. On the surface, as an expert who had cultivated holy grade Gang Qi, he could only be considered as a green netherworld realm expert. Moreover, although Ling Yu had broken through to the green netherworld realm, she had not been in the green netherworld realm for long. Naturally, she would not be taken seriously by Zhuo Xiao and Yuan Fei, who had been famous for a long time. Since their strength was not on the same level, it was reasonable for them to have the confidence to look down on him and the others. I don't know if the Dragon-Slaying Island has the right to look down on anyone, but I think it should be enough to deal with the Life League. How dare you? Among the three Alliance Masters, the Moon Lake Master Yu Xianchen, who had the highest cultivation and was also the only woman, let out a cold snort. Master of Qingsu Island, we've only tolerated you until now because it wasn't easy for you to cultivate Saint-grade astral energy. However, this doesn't mean that we're willing to listen to your nonsense. According to our discussion, you have two choices. First, you can lead Slaying Dragon Island to join the Life League. Seeing that both of you have extraordinary cultivation, I can make you two elders. If you are loyal and devoted to the Life League in the future, and make great contributions, it is not impossible for you to be promoted to the position of deputy leader. As for the second choice, if you choose to be stubborn to the end, don't blame us for using the power of the Life League to crush your entire Slaying Dragon Island into dust. You are right. You are right. You are right. By then, if both of you want to surrender again, we will not be so kind. Crushing the entire Dragon-Slaying Island into dust with the power of the Life League and the power of the Thunder League? The three leaders are a little too confident. Before you say these words, you should fight with Ling Yu of the Dragon-Slaying Island first. As Xing Hui spoke, he gestured for Ling Yu to come forward. Why don't we fight? Ling Yu alone is enough for the Dragon-Slaying Island, while the three leaders of the Life League can fight together. If the Dragon-Slaying Island wins, we do not ask for much. I, Xing Hui, will be the leader, and Ling Yu and the other three can be deputy leaders. If the Dragon-Slaying Island loses, everyone on the island will be at the mercy of the three leaders of the Life League. What do you think? How dare you? A cold light flashed in Yu Xianchen's eyes. How dare you look down on us, you? Leader Yu, please calm down. Zuo interrupted Yu Xianqin's anger with a fake smile. Since the dragon-slaying island is so confident, why don't we fulfill their wish? If the four of us fight to determine the winner, it will greatly reduce the bloodshed of many of our subordinates and greatly preserve our overseas forces. In this way, when the 5 sacred sects sweep over in the future, our chances of survival will be higher. I only hope that the leader of the dragon-slaying island will keep his promise and not go back on it. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.